Ghana must work more efficiently.
John Dramani Mahama, 24-hour economy.
My life wasn't always like this. I worked in a bank and had money in bonds to cushion me for the future. Then, with a stroke of a pen, my life was destroyed. My bank was part of the 420 financial institutions which the MPP government recklessly collapsed. What was to become the life of the workers? No one in this insensitive government cared. And suddenly, I was jobless. Their incessant borrowing also led to a debt restructuring program that affected me, and just like that, a significant portion of my lifetime investment vanished. Even worse, my lifetime savings from 30 years of hard work has been rendered useless due to the continuous depreciation of the city and extremely high cost of living in the country. Now, look at me. The fruits of my toil and sweat have all gone down the drain because of bad leadership. What to eat with my children is even a struggle. God, help me and the many who share in my pain. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. Change must come.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Auntie Esi. Now then I want to what time over me wa money my busa.
Auntie Ama. Pacho, me buy a school mu kwan. University. Na scan year 2005. Anya dey menya. Ti ma yimi ntoma sama de bro na pepi bi kakra. No dey fama me.
O enya su mensu fantoma no koto fi. Enti wonte say John Dramani Mahama. Ene NDC for say nyame ya adom na Ghana for to abama na. Wo ba Aba University bia, Technical University, College of Education, Nursing Training. Wo mu nyina academic fees for first year. Eye free. No. Yes.
Adama ujidi. Atadwen another matter den there.
Auntie Esi. She ebiem. Wo say enka ne bosia na obo wo ma omo to school so no. Se na obo ne ba ko a se wo so obesi ho. E dia ma omo to so no. Ane
Kenya Mr. John Mahama.
ye chame so mu kra ne say ye nuanom a omodi dem asabe graduate omko school pon no wase wo mu nyina wo ba eye free ane
Siama enka me ko nanka na ye 7 December nanka ya to aba na my papa Mahama amana be ye president
hwe wasit ne moto aba pa e de sakra ya papa beba wa brabo mu to aba ma John Mahama ne NDC.
Nana, who are you voting for this year?
Habateria. As for this question, you need not ask. John Mahama and the NDC, of course. Who else? You know there should be a change. Maybe I should have brought to our pa.
Nana, born before computer.
Yeah,
do you still remember how to vote?
I am so sharp. On December 7th, when I get to my police station, I'll take my voter's ID card to the EC officer. He will check, find my name, and give me a ballot paper. I'll inspect the ballot paper and make sure the EC stamp is at the back with no other markings around it. When I get to the box, I will just inspect the paper again, search for the umbrella. I will just put my thumb in the ink pad and stamp the empty box just by the umbrella, not on the line or Mohammed's face, but in the empty box just by the umbrella. Then I clean my hand, fold my ballot paper vertically and horizontally, and drop it straight into the presidential box.
Nana, well done.
On the parliamentary candidate, I'll just stamp my hand in the empty box just by the umbrella. Now I'm done. Give it back.
Hey, na.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
It's a great time for Ghanaian women. The nation builder John Mahama and Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman will establish the first ever Women's Development Bank in Ghana. A special bank run by women, only women, to serve only women. Yes, the Women's Development Bank will support women's businesses by offering loans at a very low interest rate and on very flexible terms to empower women throughout Ghana. From hairdressers, market women, female graduates who want to go into business, online businesses owned by women, traders, dressmakers, caterers, food vendors, street hawkers, women in the corporate world, women in agribusiness, to other women-led and women-owned businesses in all fields. No one will be left out. With Mahama and Nana Jane at the helm, Ghanaian women shall surely rise. Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Our city unity.
All right, good evening and welcome to With Audio Respect Extended Version. My name is Kevin Akobe Rutela. It's exactly 5:02 p.m. U.S. East Coast time. It's definitely 9:02 in Ghana. Welcome to the most authoritative, most listened to platform on the planet right now. It's Wednesday. Normally on Wednesdays we don't show up, but it's very important we show up tonight to break issues down for you to have a clear understanding of what is happening. Today, so many things to talk about. We've got to go to the Supreme Court. We're going to talk about other issues like Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia failing to answer just 5 questions. You have some very important social media stories that we will be talking about. As usual, we have so many things to talk about, and it's got to do with Ghana politics. So tonight, it's all about business. If you're watching me tonight, you're live on Loud Silence TV on Multi TV this evening. Loud Silence TV on Multi TV this evening. You can watch us live. We're also live on Loud Silence TV on YouTube this evening. Loud Silence TV on YouTube this evening. We are also live on Loud Silence TV on Facebook. Loud Silence TV on Facebook. We are also live on Loud with Audio Respect page on Facebook, On Android devices, go to the Google Play Store and download Loud Silence Radio. You can listen to this show live on radio through our app, Loud Silence Radio. You can listen to this show live on radio. Also, the Apple device holders, or if you have an Apple device, you can also go to the App Store, download Loud Silence Radio, listen to this show live this evening. We are right now live across the world on YouTube. I can see so many people watching me tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for joining us. I'd like to say good evening to every single person who's made time to watch us, listen to us, and be part of this through platform. Anyway, me and Amidi Jumadi when we chime in at the Kevin Kobedu Taylor. Omo Mechi Domino, you're from the Ghost team. Omo and I just some of the Aswam Samembra. Na mimbe jum Emma Ghana for ehu de echo and then you be can sembebre and then you name say Supreme Court in sembebre si wo ho yebenya botre adwudwum ama Ghana for so ehu de echo let me land for no almost omabeke kabrofo bebre say yes yetumi dwudwum ma Ghana for ehu de echo. Chief Justice Madam Tokonu aka Osono Maame ono so ewo Supreme Court na Sibio oye NPP for edwuma ediamomo and then it has become so embarrassing. Say the Supreme Court at the end of the day, Omankasa Asama Omudino na Sibio Omankasa Itia Omankasa Asamoso Nomasa at the protecting MPP Abino. That's where we are today as a country. Principles be John Dramani Mahama said 5 questions. Emma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say Ombra no be ya no keke na Sibio for the Jimmy Nkoda. Adia Chinya Bawumia at the 50 questions in Aba. It's simple. Unless you are stupid. Because if you're not stupid and I ask you questions, you just answer the questions. You stupid. Unless you're stupid. And I want to ask you, you can say 1 + 1 are stupid. The answer is supposed to be there. And you're not supposed to be pissed off when we tell you that you did not do what is right. If you don't do what is right, technically you become stupid because you should know, especially when the things are easy, especially we so university and our SS. Now we so be questions, more answer. No, I can say 1 + 1. Now to ocean in him. University there 1 + 1 there obvious you should be able to answer say 2 but so when to me now when you na okay say also we send the question because stupid answer the question. That is how it is. And just say obi time obi and I say obi do obi atem but hey that's how it's supposed to be. Obi Jimmy and us say we Jimmy na nipa no atene ase na watoto nyoma aye nyoma ye. So and you bring some also in Sembebre on YouTube. Now I can see Prince Adams watching me tonight. Thank you very much, Prince, for being here tonight. Also, Mela is live on YouTube. And then Rana Yakubu is live. Esther Apia is watching me this evening on YouTube. On Facebook, Carl is live here. I can see Lebanon Ahiabo is also watching me this evening. Rashmel is live on YouTube this evening. Michael Avadu watching Kevin Telenego's team. Stay with me, please. Kulimens is also on YouTube. Imam is also live on YouTube. Nyamiche is live on YouTube. Desmond Kweku Japan is watching me live on YouTube. On Facebook, I can see Delali J.O. also watching me this evening. Nikki is live here at Jomanyo watching Kevin Telenego's team. Evelyn Ifwa is also live here. Prince Adams is back again. Also Evelyn is back again, and so many people. Frank J.K. Lagbani, yes, also live this evening on Loud Silence TV. Ediana Ekoso Amente ya ende enyumbre obi anim say Wednesday de kusie MP kuwukwada but ende kusie epie dia also who say ensemble na wo ha e wo say dwudwum ema Ghana for ehu no kure no. Right now we have been live for 21 minutes our internet so our TV so our wiase afane nyina. We have been live for 21 minutes. Your nipa 2319 eyeballs live our YouTube. I'll be happy if the numbers could move to 1,000 likes. And Sunny started showing is very, very important. Say you bear sad, you know. So after 21 minutes, 2,319 people watching us live on YouTube. You know, we would like you guys to move the numbers, likes, you know, to 1,003. Now, yeah, started showing on Facebook, you know. On Facebook, so many platforms picking us, but I mean, share on Facebook. On Facebook, we are doing how many shares on Facebook? 435 shares on Facebook. 435 shares on Facebook. We can do better on Facebook. In 700 shares. On YouTube, 817 now. In the next 2-3 minutes, we need to cross 1,000 likes. 817 go in. I got 2 minutes. Now you started Jumadi, On YouTube, 852 right now. We need to make 1,300 likes. As I started, I think we can give ourselves about 3 minutes to do that. Into what we share our YouTube so right now, try and like the show. That's the only thing you need to do this evening. You're 873 right now. 873 likes right now. We need to move it to 1,000 in the next minute. Very, very important. We have done 908 likes on YouTube. We need to move it to 1,300. Not into me and start the show on Facebook. All right, boss. What is this? Are you still? I'm sorry, but we can't do this tonight because we've already taken off. More and more Facebook and also how many shares? Let me see. We are doing 473 shares. Facebook, we can do better. We can cross 500 to 700 shares. And Sana Yastati Enyumbre show. 483 shares on Facebook is not enough to start tonight's show. On YouTube, we have done 992 likes. Not enough to start tonight's show. Inti also there's the show more and more awishi. Yes, more light off. I'm on liking I'm on koda. Oh, I wish you do more lighter. Just like the show and go and sleep. Tomorrow you can come and continue. More a year at Ghana. You don't do more light in your brain. Why you do more light? Like the show and go and sleep. Tomorrow morning you can come and continue the show. Simple. We have done 519 shares on Facebook. 519 shares on Facebook. We need to do 700. On YouTube, we have crossed 1,000 likes on YouTube. 1,000 likes. My team will be helping me with the numbers. I'm going to remind them now, we have been on air for 24 minutes. We have 2,512 eyeballs. 2,512 eyeballs. 2,548 eyeballs after 24 minutes. 24 minutes being on TV. Isn't he? Thank you very much. And the breaking news, about more questions. Be also me busa nipebi or Ghana and where are my questions? Yeah, more questions. Be a me busa judge be or Ghana and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. More 9 strong questions. A breaking news. Papa Nyashia. Bonin so enyahwe intende nwumbre no obia emfre na damfo judge onim no kan say o judge na so o banko na so o Supreme Court ka chen say Kevin Taylor say o breaking news or questions bi obebusa judge fo a mo Supreme Court amoye ma mumu baako ene de mebusa na questions be 8 solid questions and sa judge na o Supreme Court no oyo ba inti wa wonim oba bia oye judge owo Supreme Court oyo oba no Mon can't say Kevin Taylor say or question for Obaba could be or a judge or Ghana or Supreme Court. More breaking news questions be Busano and Bibia Ghana do Siciano, Papa and Yashia, Bonnie a friend Bonnie so and Yashi. Seni pebi esi omutimu po some be di Bonia or see you mutimu po na eyi omoto eso akonya. Inti dia and say ende nyumbreno Loud Silence Media will not show any mercy to anybody. I'm going to ask about 8 questions, solid questions with facts. Now, Bibusa questions we are, and in the breaking news of the day, I'm the bedroom later in the day. Bibusa question where I got directly to the Supreme Court, West Africa, West Africa, and also Ghana. Now, question number call ama oba ana a woman at the Supreme Court. That person at the Supreme Court, Oyobano, Sir Sebio, that Supreme Court judge, also bold to answer these questions. Very important, because I have a lot of things I will be putting out very soon. And you see, sometimes, you man call for second chances, but it's looking like, say, so we say, Obi abonitimu po, so obi di bone, and I say, obe say maya. What you do is say, oh, try to protect your mind. That is all that you need to do. I'm doing my best to protect Ghana, and you're also doing your best to protect Ghana by making sure, say, December 7th, and over to Aba Ama, John Mahama, and NDC parliamentary candidate. Intended you bring Unumobi Akachan to say, Ombrambe show, Kevin Taylor say, or bear 9 questions for Oba or a judge or Supreme Court. I don't know the number of Emma Omia judges or Ghana Supreme Court. Mr. P, Mr. S, get me the number of women who are judges at the Supreme Court, because we need to send these questions to Obabako or Supreme Court. Inti Emma Mohoni Ninano, what questions never come out? Now I'm answer. When to me answer, we will come and give answers with pictures, with videos, and with phone chats, conversations. And I'm not going to mince words about this. And the Mekachro, only 18 years and over, do not join us on this show, because a penny-for show ni waha iti moma message no enko. Then of course Ghana menti ya and then you bring ni pebi ekansam cheme. Me aso me bibia both will be social media ne hu fi free. No can tag Kevin Taylor tag me I don't see those things. Media me pe on Facebook ni say makoho na obi Jimmy na mehwe. Ai media e dia omo concert no me hwe kakra na me ni age na makoda. Me stress me hu on Facebook. Me follow obi page a obebe kan kwa asema say you have come to my page. I'm going to insult you. I don't come to people's page to comment. I don't follow people on Facebook to come and comment on your page. That be your territory. Take it. Me so be on Facebook my territory. Me so I will take it. It's me Facebook and I enjoy Facebook. I enjoy Twitter. Me say okay Twitter, I don't follow anybody. The only person I used to follow now is my wife. And my wife catch up and say, "Mommy follow no." And I'm using me giant follow. Ayo. The only person I follow on Twitter. How many people do I have follow me on Twitter? I said 20,000 now. Nipa kitu even follow me on Twitter. Me I don't even Nipa 63,000 they follow me on Twitter. The only page I follow and I only handle and follow on Twitter Loud Silence TV and no I don't follow anybody on Twitter. Me ira na me follow kwa me say me follow ni bio me ira me follow ni bio me ira so follow me obi follow bia me ira say me follow no it me follow me ira one day one of us me follow ni bio mo Twitter am say mate me problem it is no me follow me ira enti me Facebook me nko me ni obi atari me ira cross me follow no na me ira say me follow na wo na me follow. When you go on TikTok, so at that business page, and I don't go there, my team take care of it. I don't follow anybody on TikTok, a business page. I've never been there to chat with anybody. The team, they take care of that. Intimino, I'm living a very free life. Instagram, me page here on my phone, you see me Instagram, minima the crop, but I've not also checked it. Come Instagram, you remember pictures on Guana. Instagram, na me come phone so I quite minima the crop. And I'm assuming time some computer Instagram say add it to Instagram number. Say Instagram na ready say bye and no bye. Ain't sometimes no but life no one my life pressure better my life so. One I am mobile pressure better my life so. Mumma idea we any simple mamo. Obi a on pen as Facebook or betray be page and no blocking no. So on po be asem e YouTube no betray be ha no blocking no. Obi ba o Twitter page no betray be no pa no blocking no. Eye wa wo dia. Hwe tie technique. Young people are maba. Don't stress yourself on the internet. Don't let the internet give you BP. Don't let the internet frustrate you. Don't. Wow page. Wow sika na odie bie. Wow property. So obi ba ho no betray bi na wo pa. Blocking no nanya happiness ho na ye de wo. Nipa no ohwede so nimnyansa onko no page no onko tro. No. You are not supposed to be stressed once cry on social media. Why do you stress? Why do you stress and say media obi abeka bibia che me bibu ofu no. Ukona said you actually don't block it. You have the authority over the power. Don't allow anybody to stress you on social media. Now we muna, now we buofu. Akoya beka say me reply no. When you update that a waste of time. So o ka say now believe in yourself no. Na say obi ba, na say again say onu nimnyansa che on. Ka che say mesrew ko page na ko twere ho. No block no. Eno no. On to mba biem. Now one kasa page. Say, oh, you don't entertain other opinions. I can say, yes, I don't entertain other opinions. That's why I don't go on other people's page to go and also share my opinion. Share your opinion on your page. I will share mine on my page. That is what they will say. You don't entertain other people's opinion, but you want to talk about other people. Massa, I can talk about other people. Don't come on my page and talk. I will block you because it's my page. Go on your page and talk your talking. What is your problem? All right, so where advice ke kamede mamo and I would like to say mo quiz na mo ye no Ghana na yesi ende na yesi I would like to say a big congratulations to this lady your friend perpetual Sefako gakbeto She represented for Eye Keta. And I'd like to say Eye, congratulations to Eye Keta. The other two and other colleagues now, Omoboa, Lady Way, Omunyina as a team went to the finals. We just want to say she's done pretty very well. The only lady I know all finals in him, and it shows how hard she has worked to get to this point. The reason why sometimes I know will be say, and just say bia yebu imba abumfia, we think say women cannot do better, but especially coming from where we come from, no, especially in Africa and especially in Ghana, no. So obanas or excelling in anything, you should not take it for granted. You just have to understand, say that woman or that lady has worked so hard to get there, because you're very competitive, and the competition always favors the men. Over your schools, over your juma, over a lot of places, we know say the men are always giving the nod first before the women. When we see women make some little progress, I'm saying little because some women are not given the room to even make a step, and that is what we are facing in Africa and in Ghana. I'd like to say that this lady has really tried. They did not win the competition, but she is an example. And I think last year or last 2 years too, another lady like that, a young lady who also did everything possible to get to Bibi Omudru. And so I'd like to say, Keta, you have done very well. The gentleman that supported this lady to get to this point, I really appreciate you guys. You've done very well. The support you gave her, I know, from the beginning, it wasn't easy, but to be able to be her big brothers to protect her to this point to get to the finals. I applaud you, this young man, Mowo Eyedi and Keta, and man and Bema Mutumi Ebwa Lady way to get to the final. The confidence and the excitement just being at the finals, and especially coming from Keta Secondary School, which is one of the greatest schools in Ghana. Omo produces some of the best brains in Ghana. Go and check your history, you will understand. Inti, I'd like to say congratulations to this lady. I really appreciate you. In fact, me and Kasa Kevin Taylor, I have a small present for you. I'll find your headmaster or somebody who can allocate you to just give to you as a personal gift. In Bemano, I will see if I'll think about Bemano. So Memo will give to be. I said Bemano, but I will see. But this lady, personally, I'll find a special gift for her. And then she will also, I know, will be very appreciative of the gift I will send to her. Inti, Perpetual Sefako Gakbeto, congratulations. You really done well. You've really done well to get to this point, and we know you will do better. There's more ahead of you. The confidence you have shown, the confidence. That's the basic thing. The confidence and the putting away all these pressures, and shedding all this kind of stigmatization and people trying to run you down, people trying to make it look like say we but you have done your best, and your team or your school getting here, your effort was really appreciated. And I know Keta, they really appreciate your effort. I'd like to say thank you very much for being part of this group, and I'll do my best to also send my gift to you. Now, Asamesi. Now, Asamesi say another congratulations goes to Eye Boche. They have shown say utumi ebiti Presec. Se Presec egumumau na se utumi wini against Presec 53-53. Now, because of international quiz, Presec ebekonti. Presec say okay, we have assessed the other schools. You think say see anyone move to me see your name. Now se Presec more opportunity, no. Now Presec say okay, go to the finals, because also here say Bochefo no Presec na honestly ka say omonko. Me catch up the last time so BT Presec and we win the tournament we are no about them, and it's a fact because Presec na standard no. Say only Presec share na Presec say okay, we want you to go and taste finals maybe for the second time or third time. Then it means say we don't want to basically we don't want to overshadow the little talent we have seen in you. In this West Study Preseka, a school bia as much as you can a year event, we also try and groom young ones. We groom talent. See who say talent, you who say school, now say you want to be like us, you want to study, you are willing to be serious. Sometimes we allow you to also express yourself, and that is what happened. Presec basically semi-finals, time enya letter ni free the International Quiz Association no say yembra no. We felt to say the 3 schools are qualified to the finals. Omobe qualified no. We saw that Butche was trying, and we don't want to be the school. People will say, okay, mude debia mu wini. Say school be crap so mu winia. Now yes why then we jam into Legon Presec na make me. I Legon Presec na making. So what we did was we decided say the hard work you people put in no Monko finals no. And when you get the blessings of Presec, there's no way you fail. And people need to understand. In that light, we shall see light. Illuminati bimos lumen. And it's just a kania muno. Enya dia okania bedum anase obibehu se ebia onyo onshren. Into the time I bless a buchi, se buchi Presec Legon se monko you win. You know, me I knew for sure se buchi will win. And so there's no news here. And they have done so well with the blessings of Presec, you know, and it yama obiso opportunity. People should not complain next year. Say a back, nobody should complain. Because this year, no, they will say, yen to me enka say ya can be ashe, yen percent for cancer. And I Kevin Taylor ne Legon Presec for the omo be being wini, and then into this year, ya say, yabemamo ako. So you have seen the light, Buche. You have seen the light, and every single day, you always have to say thank you to Presec. And then I know you people will be going to bed very happy. Every single Buche or every single Kwabuche student should go down on their knees. And yet every old student, they should all go down on their knees and pray and thank God, and after say hallelujah to Presec, because it is through what we have done. It is through the opportunity we gave you. It is through our blessings. And I'm going to win here. Inti boche for my idea nyame enshamo ene mo one time ya munko bi mo win ya munye biem kopim se school no ebegu ewo Yesu dimu in the next 200 years no. Mama mu years kakra anamewa. Ebegu school dey be 200 years time ebegu. But kakra munye ya de amamu de monfa enhye hosa. So boche why aze nyame shon papa anke boche awotwe no ya nya awotwe ye de amawo. Boche for headmaster uncle was amawo no. Ogasco ari all this yenyim bibia Ogasco foze wotwetwe won benyina na wada onhye da nya school papa bi. Kevin Taylor Angasa, I want Angasa or gas kufu when you want upon Obana and from above for school, what you won't be won't say, where Jim de Bem or gas kufu. I want a kufu as the Okufa there, Oko school or gasku, or Nangasa Kufadu, or your gas could also Oko at this school. The more gas could add this kufu, what are you now? We are can say in Tampin wash or Cape Coast war or gas kufu on more part of that Wabononsia, no, what we want to soon. One numri or the patase in patana worry would nim nyansa crotin po into August cause worry. But in all Akraka de will be any school is jum. Akraka de into August go for the worry. Yen to me young bibia yen nim August coast or brown born or Cape Coast omonyenyenyemonko forma the era of questions. Ogasco fo one nam Cape Coast as the papa bia wotumi ye nkwan as a wotumi ye na ne de wonyenyenyim bisafo wonyema wonje which share Cape Coast bisafo so ayen ye frinkran abodam ifri eye apapodo isi frinkran boys a work Ogasco dodo no ti apapodo wasora no nam Cape Coast catch Cape Coast bisafo oh me am a crab boy obwa ne papa ofri apapodo e no ofri one nam Cape Coast na one yim mbesafo no one no ntampigudo we wi or da pofia yi won sim Ogasco awe na adi square dem school e be eye wo de yenye won kasa mo beda mo podam school kakraba school besi aba osiwo won siaze enkwasi asem no wa hye won ma intimu de san kwase sem na kan ba wini ana ye ne bless botwe no ba me start program okay. But in all, yes, summarize it. Yeah, Accra Academy dear, Accra dear, Chrono dear, almost school is jum. Into how many a jum ne share war, Accra school any a jum share war. Hey, almost property nankasa, assassin nankasa, and they can issue one a share war. Into Accra, so called lands commissioner. O check it on my plan na a wura kaneshim I into a back critical kaneshim to me a Accra can be a fa. Into Accra cantina debiano kaneshim for bufua omonka bibiano. Because I was steady Accra for land nankasa. So I was steady land na. Sa one is one across Kanashi wura Accra. baby amoya astrotef no kaneshi for asase I first light ho nyina na anything na de bia ka che akraka for say I am mbram once na blew asase kura mu ni bi asase kura akraka bi ni bi intimo mote kaneshi market for asase so mumfa buo mo sori na enkoko a amahyehe on say kaneshi baby on ton kokko no eho no enwumre om de eye padlock na tutum ebu ebeba na nkoko ni bi ko ba ni nyina na kaneshi fo nkasa because kaneshi market for ye nipa bi do school no enti montia sese mo school na si dwom obedwa akraka edwom fo. All right, let's do the do. Enti congratulations to Boche wayaze Boche fo wayaze papa wayaze my bibia my ni nyina tisi ade be mu sama no bebo nwom ye mam be 6 months mu fam pe girls da mo de muntumi pe girls da mo de jimi no enti Boche se si ade muntumi mbie ma no na mo pemba mo betumi trophy apemba. Oh hello, oh I'm from Kwaboche, yeah na ye we won there. Can I talk to you? Mo fair no am fan start it. Because Boche for more problem you say how to start conversation with women. More problem you mun nim baby a start no wo. Inte see ade boy win trophy. Into mo kontako na mo kokko kwa. Mo kwam so hello, so I am James Quatin. So okay. Why are you? Oh, we are Bocherians. So Boche Fansipum. Yeah, we won the mass and science. Oh yeah. So what is your name? Inte see ade mama step back. Mo use step we fam mo bra na mo ntumi nsepe. Adisco ni ogasco why we are poor fian mu wi ma won tumi wi ni bibia kwasasa bon kwa na mo de te sa Cape Coast won mo. All right, Cape Coast man hene meso na kwesata me na fre ogasco fo na fre adisco fo na busa won de e ba zinti wo pa wi dam me na fre mo Cape Coast man hene me na wo direct na me na fre mo ogasco ni adisco fo mienu mo ye wi competition wo Cape Coast wi competition na mumienu dem school yi wanu wi ya wanu nyina ye de nkoku manu wi manu nyina se nkoku mo petrofia age so pesek legon Boche yami shramo my idea. All right, now let's take our business. Akraka kai asase kura mu ni bi akraka ya kan school ya akraka you school a jom for we. All right, so John Dramani Mahama ebusa eye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia questions keke 5 questions, and in fact Andra you can wasem these 5 questions near questions are John Mahama ebusa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. In fact, you see, and then I was talking to somebody and I told the person, say the NPP as a political party, they don't respect Ghanaians, and enona ama Bawumia so na adwene ye ne say ye ne Ghana fo nyina ye Jimmy, and ehona na dangerous no ehona na ma oman na ye chichire no ema ne yehunu no, because when you have a political party and you have a flag bearer and his running mate, say sankofo no they don't respect the intelligence of the people, it makes it very difficult for you to trust them with power, because so be adwene ne say we Jimmy a so the two mission in Sema. Now adwene say why adwene do that level to even question to me now what he is doing or what she is doing. Inti debiano I am a very dangerous say obi show say unrespectable and how you think and how intelligence you don't have to make a mistake of handing over something precious wankasa obo buying edawa kuma so to that person, because the moment idea precious o de masa nipa na obe treat ade ne to say obe treat in a way onim say you don't have even the intelligence to know say ade no or say no and say on say no. And that is something that Bawumia, any Napo, any MPP as a political party, that is something they have done for years. Mamika Bibincho. On say and John Dramani Mahama are reacting to Mahmoud Bawumia. 5 questions are Obusana Bawumia into me my answer. Now it is simple. When you're a university student, then people say 1 + 1. Now ushe minima, I'll be like, stupid. Can't you get it? It's obvious. It's 2. Because you can't tell me, say, you are in the university. Now, unim 1 + 1. Some questions and some answers are supposed to be straightforward. You are not supposed to go around it. It is a university graduate. Now, say, 1 + 1. Actually, paper up to 2 enim. Now you are still looking at me and talking about where you are from and how your father is great and what comprehension you can write and where you came from, the school that you came from to enter the university. I'll be like, stupid. It's just simple. Just put the answer there. You cannot try and be bringing in things that are not important because the answer is supposed to be straightforward. Inti utie bronia. The only time bronia used to say, where just say, don't be dumb. Just go forward, go straight to the question and answer. And it's not Oba Brofukro say, stupid, you just need to do this. Now, John Mahama responded to Mahmoud Bawumia, Oman Bawumia, just 5 questions. And Bawumia, 5 questions are John Mahama the man, no. They were very simple questions, sir. It all borders around or it all rallies around the economy. John Dramani Mahama could have asked Bawumia questions about fisheries. But Onimse Bawumia did not come into politics because he's an expert or he was an expert in fisheries. John Mahama could have asked Bawumia questions about agriculture. But John Mahama, Onimse Ghana for Onimse Bawumia, he's not an expert when it comes to agriculture. John Mahama Nimse Bawumia is not an expert when it comes to housing. John Dramani Mahama, Onimse Bawumia is not an expert when it comes to digitalization. John Mahama and Ghanaians, we all know, say, Bawumia ni expertise, say, or economist. Yen him say, Bawumia was introduced into Ghana politics because of his background as an economist. Nana the Dankwe Kufuor the Jina TV so catch say, the reason why he is bringing Bawumia on is because of the economy. Nana the Dankwe Kufuor and the MPP4 were straightforward with us. The reason why Akufo-Addo is every MPP person to go bring a non-NPP person to be his running mate Bawumia was because Okachira Ghana for say Bawumia has the expertise. He knows economics, and that when Bawumia comes to join him, what is going to happen? And they say, obey to me as solving your economic problems. That's all. And Bawumia being in government, his job is to make sure the economy is safe. The economy is resolute. We have an economy that we can be proud of. That's it. There's nothing else, nothing more. In the John Mahama Ebusa Mahamudu Bawumia questions, you could see, say, there are so many questions John Mahama can pose to Bawumia, but John Mahama trimmed the questions to serious economic questions because onim say, enona Bawumia etauti anasa wejina so akan say mebri say Ghana for ento abamano from 2014. Bawumia questions that John Mahama Busa and say, why has the city deteriorated in value from 4 Ghana cedis in 2016 to 17 Ghana cedis to $1 today? It's simple. When I say we are economic whisked, when we are the head of economic management team. Nana the Dankwe Kufuor your boss say, or the partner no because unim economics ube save Ghana's economy. It John Mahama say 2016 OJ power now we are running mate, we are the head of economic management team or be vice president. Now city no 4. Then a city no do 17. It's simple. Actually, you are stupid, and I want to me answer question way when you call yourself an economist. Let's break it down for reasonable people to understand. Jimmy Dodo. John Mahama again. Why has Ghana's public debt risen from 120 billion in 2016 to 763 billion in 2024 with you as the EMT chair? Or say, then a Ghana kai daho. A move every 2016 obetina so we economic Westgate, our economic management team head, or vice president, who has expertise in economics. Akufo-Addo Jina so free or say then I'll pick a Ghana a car from Kwame Nkrumah ABC or no John Mahama so 120 billion and the 2024 no I could do a year all the way to a year 773 billion. Obusa say, how did we get here? Can you give us answers? As simple as that. Unless you are stupid. And Abakache John Mahama say, where's the toilet? Unless you are stupid. And Abakache John Mahama say, oh yeah, digitalization. These are straightforward, specific questions that need specific answers. John Mahama Busa the third question, or say, why did inflation rise to its highest in the Fourth Republic of 54% under your watch as EMT chair? Or say, time na Oba Bedi EMT chair, economic management team chairman, as the vice president, as somebody who was just brought in because of the economy, somebody who was brought in to come and make our economic situation better, no? Why is it say day and Oba lead the economic management team, no? What we call inflation, and I said sorry, inflation do 54 abra baby alfa no na enye ho ne wo. What caused that? Why couldn't you stop it? It's simple. You just need to just tell John Mahama the reason why inflation is at 54 during my tenure is this and this and that. That's all. Unless you are stupid. And Abakaja John Mahama say, me was sirim. Oh, NPP no, omo digitalization. Oh, where the koko tia meto. Oh, where the no. Unless you are stupid. Unless you are stupid. And I overcall round. These are straightforward questions to an economist. John Mahama will not ask Ekufuado these questions because Ekufuado is dumb. He's not an economist. He does not understand data. He does not understand figures. Ekufuado is just an ignorant old man who was pushed to become president because of some foolish people's greed. John Mahama assess Ekufuado and I assess so. And also, what's your economist? Ekufuado or a failed lawyer. So you answer the economic questions. What has John Mahama done? Unless you are stupid. And I won't take John Mahama air can I say. This is simple. Number 4, John Mahama Busa Bawumia, why did you borrow more than 42 billion from the Bank of Ghana and cause the central bank to post its heaviest loss of 60 billion? It's simple. You are in charge of the economic management team. And this is an economic question. Under your tenure as the chair of the economic management team, as the vice president who was brought in as an economist from Bank of Ghana, who says there's money in there's money, and that the monies at the Bank of Ghana, you are going to use it to benefit us. Now we are seeing losses from Bank of Ghana under your leadership. What has caused that? Unless you are stupid. And son, like I say, you are going to talk about your party logo. You are going to talk about bridges. You are going to talk about roads. These are specific, straightforward questions. Unless you are stupid. Now, the fifth question that John Mahama Busa, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and it say, there are so many stupid people in Ghana. And it say, why have you run away from giving lectures on the economy? Why has the word economy disappeared from your lexicon? John Mahama say, adentina sa eye lectures na oma 2014, 15, 16. Now we have PowerPoint. Now we call Central University. We call Associate University. Say Associate and everyone saying, we call different university. Pentecost University, Legon, Tech. Now all your lectures, you have all the resource at your disposal. What is stopping you from giving us the same lectures again about the situation of our economy? And also the word that your friend, economy. Or say, why has it disappeared from your statements? It's simple. Unless you're stupid, and I'll say, Messi Dine Waha, Messi Toilet Waha, and I'm a Quang Waha, and I'm a plant Waha. These are straightforward questions. Now, let's listen to John Mahama. Sorry, there's a Bawumia. I'm an answer. Now, I'm at 50 questions as answers. And then the chest said, this MPP, who Ghana for say, United States, to me. How can you answer a question with questions? Mahmoud Bawumia, to answer just 5 questions, Mahmoud Bawumia has brought out 50 questions. Echese Bawumia is stupid. It's simple. Eche won TB da. Eche won person obejia to say it is only a stupid person who answer questions with a question. You have to be stupid to answer a question with a question. Because if you're not stupid, how can you answer a question with a question? It does not work anywhere. It is only a stupid person who will think, say, a question answering a question is an answer. Because in the head of the NPP and Bawumia, when they use a question to answer a question, it is an answer. And that makes them stupid. Let's not make this complicated. Na Ghana fono, yet Ghana na yamanyo maybe is so complicated. Yet Kroma na Bawumia set 170 questions. Edema Pakwesi Emisa Ata. May he so rest in peace. No John Mahama vice president. What did Bawumia say? He said he needed answers. Why did Bawumia direct the questions to Pakwesi Emisa Ata? Because Pakwesi Emisa Ata had the economic background. Parkwesi and Mr. Arthur had worked at the Bank of Ghana like the same Bawumia. So why is Bawumia answering a question with question? It means Bawumia is either stupid or more stupid. There's a reason why we use adjectives. There's a reason why they are verbs. And your actions, and your status, and the bachelor say you belong to an adjective or you belong to a verb. And when we try to break things down to you people, and you hear the English language, that you become so stupid because you think, say, hey, kasa we die, Ghana need to brofua. Until say embusa no say brofu, why does it fit here? Is it a figurative statement? Is it a quote? Is this statement, in fact, a direct statement? Is it a phrase? People don't check that. All that they do is they take the word, the statement, the words. It is what you would do, your response to a question, your actions towards something. That is where you choose it the right word for you. So if you're an economist and somebody poses 5 questions or economic questions to you, and you bring 50 questions to answer questioner, what makes you? It makes you a dumb, stupid economist. That's all. But you see the funny thing? John Mahama today had to say this.
We used to learn what they call nursery rhymes. And that one, you just have to learn it by heart. Even when you're sleeping, you should be able to repeat it. So if you remember, ba, ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Then we had Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Those nursery rhymes. I woke up this morning and I saw 50 questions to me. It looks like our vice president has just learned those things in the 50 questions the way we used to learn Baba, Black Sheep, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Because I asked you 5 simple questions on the economy. That's all. Simple questions that Ghanaians want you to answer. You go and respond with how many compost plants did you build? How many this did you build? That is not what the issue is in Ghana today. Let me take you down memory lane. In 1992, there was an election in America. It was between Bill Clinton and George Bush Sr. At that time, the American economy was in recession, the way the Ghanaian economy is in crisis today. And people were talking about immigration, talking about all kinds of useless things. You know what the Clinton people said? It is about the economy, stupid. Today, I'm repeating those words. This election is about the economy, stupid. It's not about all those other useless things about who built how many compost plants. Answer the 5 simple questions. And you can't hide behind the debate. You don't need the debate to answer the 5 questions. When you ask Emisata 170 questions, you did not agree to go and debate for him to answer them. Ghanaians are asking you 5 simple questions. Just answer them. Akufo-Addo too, I've given him 2 questions. He should come and answer them. That's all Ghanaians are looking for. You have destroyed the economy. That is the truth. Even if you look at the 50 questions he asked me, he has skillfully avoided the economy. There's nothing about the economy in those 50 questions. And that's why I gave you the 5th question. Why are you running away from economy? Because you were brought in to fix the economy. The economy is in a terrible state. Just answer the 5 questions I have asked you on behalf of the people of Ghana. Simple.
That's all. Simple. Just answer the 5 questions. Anka Mahama ekobusa vocational skills, life skills, technical drawing. Okobusa religious and moral questions are. And because Mahama is not being fair to you, Bawumia. But Mahama born to net him a ho and a expert to ho. So he's saying that please, these are 5 simple questions. Answer them. Then Mama Bawumia questions. It is only the MPP that answers questions with questions. Almost say it's reasonable. That makes majority of them stupid. You see, in today, I make a Ghana for say the NPP no omu Ghana for say Jimmy. Now, maybe so how stupid the NPP and the person who wrote these questions, some person or those people are. Mahama busa 5 questions. Wabe busa 50 questions. He said, now they responded 5 questions. When on earth did you hear somebody use a question to answer a question? Have you eaten? Yes. Have you eaten? Answer no. We Jimmy 4. And so Busa said, how old are you? Or say, yes. How old are you? Just say, where Jimmy? Unim dia oka. And it's how more ahemfuni bini Ghana from penifo bi amate Ghana say, ai, and dear, Mahama ndi obi atemo. Na wo hina wo tia konwam. So obi begina wa hemfie nim na ubusa na asem. Na nipa no so de asem na ebusa wa. Ububofo na so obumfu. Obaka se nipa no won Jimmy ye. Wo ohene a wote wo. Wo ohene a Bawumia eba wa hemfie. Sebio obi begina wa hemfie na eska se nipa no wedi bone wa begina wanim. Na wabusa nipa no se asemesimi be se mebusa wo me na me ohene wa ha. Akwara na yesi wato ne mona. Me busa wo akwara no na woto ne mona. Na nipa no ogina onim ka jo se nana na wo so na woto akwara ne mona na. Wo dia na beka che nipa no. Obeka se nipa no ye stupid. Enti munyina no monka motontwom. Na monhwe Bawumia the answers are or no say the question answers are or they respond John Mahama. These are the answers from Bawumia here. And one about Bawumia is actually stupid. The questions are 49. Now, can you name any broad-based social intervention policy that you implemented in Ghana as president? Yeah, the question, no. Or Mahama said, can you name any social intervention? Akwa with Jimmy, he is stupid. NPP are stupid. Bawumia is totally stupid. Who want to entertain such a thing as president? If a president cannot answer straightforward questions, then how stupid can you be to go vote for that person? The second question, why did you run advertisement against the free SHS? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Obusajo Mahama said, I didn't know your advertisement 80 free SHS. Are you fucking kidding me? We were here when John Mahama and the NDC launched free SHS progressive. The whole Ghana. Obia etiye. Why you say he advertised against it?
President cuts sword for first batch of senior high schools to be built across the country with a promise that its first occupants will pay no fees in line with his progressive free SHS promise. Now, very first story, President John Mahama has cut short for work to begin on the construction of the 50 free senior high schools. He promised his government will build each year of his 4-year term in office. The president at the ceremony at Nyanwa near Ades in the upper West Sachim district of the Eastern region told a cheering crowd the first batch of students to be admitted into the school, which he hopes will be completed by August next year, will not pay any fees. Reacting to reports about the source of funding for the proposed progressive free day SHS pledge, the president assured funding will be made available in the 2015 budget.
My Minister of Education was given a job to produce a roadmap for the progressive introduction of free SHS. She has done that job. She has costed it. We don't know how much it's going to cost. And she has presented it to cabinet. This
is John Mahama launching free SHS progressively. OC schools, stupid. This is John Mahama. John Mahama puts out 5 questions. Questions 5 per kwasi asem 50. Bawumia, MP before, mo maame baako. Se mo maame baako, mo papa be 50. 5 questions, mo Jimmy 50. I don't know what Jimmy say. This is a purely stupid political party. Now, the next question. If you think your economic management team was so good, how come we experienced more than 4 years of doing so under your government? Wait, yedi piaka. Wait, yedi shichiremine. The NPP is stupid. And I swear to God, some people don't want to say they are stupid, but they are forced to say they are stupid because of these things. 5 questions by John Mahama Busamo. Your stupidity is blinking like the church bells. They are blinking. Now, next question. Why did the banking system almost collapse under your government? Or see, almost collapsed. So he is admitting that under John Mahama, the banking system did not collapse. And then the answer. They are asking questions that at the end of the day that do not even make sense. These are stupid people. Stupid, foolish people. Okay? Then the fifth question, why did you cancel teacher training allowance? There's no document to prove that John Mahama canceled teacher training allowance. John Mahama asked only 5 economic questions. Adane Edam. These are stupid people. Bawumia is stupid. He does not have the brains to govern. Where Jimmy? Why should you watching me? I also want your MPP to answer chairman. Oh, your test on ni. Kwasi asemwe. Wo wankasa kwasi asemwe. Wo we nipa kwasi asemwe. Wo. Don't you see Bawumia is stupid? Can't you see the party you are following is a foolish party? 5 economic questions. Adane toilet ni ade. Who in Ghana can produce one document to prove say NPP NDC John Mahama echa alawam? Where? Here the next question. Or say, why did you cancel nursing training allowance? Why did you cancel teacher training allowance? Just Jimmy. We are not supposed to waste our time on the MPP. Bawumia may say or suffer from low IQ kitchen low voltage bulb syndrome. Now I say a jar bulb. Or suffer from low voltage kitchen bulb syndrome. I say Bawumia na agree say kitchen bulb. O sokra hu bibia o kitchen ho. Obaso Academy said this is not stupid. Why? And as I say the Nkobia betuma chubi. Answer the 5 questions. Here some of the questions. We are not going to read everything because I'll say hear some of them. Now I'm going to go through it. Why did the National Ambulance Service virtually collapse under your government? Why was your government unable to create even a quarter of the jobs that our government has created? Wait. In the history of Ghana, unemployment is high under this government than any government in the Republic of Ghana. Abedi Ghana, so Yamfa the 4th Republic. Under Bawumia Kufuado and the highest unemployment rate in the history of Ghana. You did not even answer the question. You are stupidly also messing yourself up. Are you stupid? Yes, you are stupid because your questions you are trying to use to answer questions, makes it clear that the NPP and Bawumia, they are stupid. Okay? Why was your government unable to create even a quarter of the jobs that our government has created? How many nurses, teachers, police officers, immigration officers and service personnel did you recruit as president? How many police and national service did Mahama recruit as president? Does Mahama recruit police officers? You are foolish. The wording shows somewhere Jimmy. They are stupid people, and why should we hand over a country to such stupid people? Okay? Why did you implement the 3-month pay policy for teachers under the government? Why did you implement 3-month pay policy for teachers under the government? What is that? I must say, why did you cancel the car import duty waiver for teachers and nurses? It was 5 economic questions, Bill. Just 5 economic questions. I feel the port. First part of Bawumia is not okay. Psychologically, is crazy. Or say, why did you cancel the car import? Or say, why was average agricultural growth under your government 2.9 less than half what is under our government? Why was industry growth under your government lower than what is under our government? Bawumia, what the manner? Bawumia, what the manner? Now, these are some of the questions. You're running through quick. Why was overall GDP growth under your government lower than under our government? GDP growth. Are you going to compare GDP growth under your government and NDC government? Are you kidding me? Or say, why did your government have no industrial policy for Ghana, but you have industrial policy for Ghana? Or say, or answer 5 questions, Beno. We'll boost 50 questions with Jimmy. Or say, why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing to you? Why do you think when a hypothetical as a future present continues and a future past participle? The question is which category does it fall in? Does it fall in present future, and now present past, and now future participle, and now present verbal adjectival? Where does it fall? The question Bawumia is asking, which category? Where does it fall? Is it in the future, in the present, or the future continuous? Is it a question tag, answer tag? Is it, what is it? Or say, why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more schools than your government did? Your government is constructing schools. Why do you think our government has constructed, or say, why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more courts than your government did? Kwasia, $58 million. Abofunu, yambo utributo ubusa se uwesi court dying. Na court dying obeto ya bubuguru no. Or no, achimnesiye. Mumu stupid. Mahmoud Bawumia, you are stupid. I'm telling you. Or say, why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more courts? Why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more public libraries than your government did? Public libraries. Or say, why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more sports facilities? Kwasia, AstroTurf. You are talking about AstroTurf in the Ghana and Shonsa. AstroTurf, how much do you need? 90,000 Ghana, 50,000 Ghana. AstroTurf, I want to win more courts matches also. Jimmy, you are stupid. Bawumia Jimmy, my KBB. First, but I'm going to say, I'm for being too hard on him. Or a typical Jimmy. Or say, Munche. Or say, why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more airports than your government did? Airport at where? Airport at where? Constructed airport at where? Airport bang. Or say, why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing and equipping more TVET institutions than your government? Auntie Rebecca Diano. Kwasiafo. Auntie Rebecca Diano. St. Monica's girl. I don't know these questions, whether they are rhetorical, they are future continuous, they are present future, they are future past, they are present past, or they are question tags or answer tags. They are, I don't know, they are clauses or phrases. I don't know where these questions, where they fit. Or say, why do you think our government has overseen the provision of more NCA licensed fiber optic cable than your government did? Why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more waste recycling plants than your government did? Almost see recycling plant than any government in this country. Or say, why do you think our government has provided 70 more scholarships to students than your everything? As we speak today, there are more young Ghanaians outside this country. You people, their stipends enko. Under your leadership, scholarship students breaching any government in this country. Kinsley Ajimane, the scholarship secretariat, or ton scholarship, £10,000, £20,000. Kwasia, or ya wakwa hine ne wafa asinti en kanasem. Sa kwasia no eba parliament because we sika ko contest e we buakwa. Why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more infrastructure in the Zango communities than your government did? Almost see more infrastructure in Zongo. We Jimmy MPP, they are stupid. John Mahama did not mince words. You true. Why do you think our government has provided more vehicles and equipment to the security service? You are wasting time. Maybe I'll say. Why do you think our government has constructed and is constructing more hospitals than your government did? Which hospital? MPP from Bawumia time. One regional hospital, you people cannot point to it. One regional hospital. What hospital are you building? What hospital? Which hospital have you guys built? Which one? How come your government was unable to issue any significant amount of the national identification card? I think that they are just joking. Let's take this as Obi said these questions are all AI generated. It looks like it, right? it looks like an AI generated questions. I'll say, why was your government unable to deal with the problem of ghost workers or the government payroll? During your period as president, only 4% of Ghanaian adults had tax identification number. Our government has increased 8 to 85%. Why were you unable to do similar? Now, time I'll buy it. Now, over building tax identification number. No, or building no phone. Kwasia, only data center and come to me. I tax identification number. Sir, and any Accra data center in your manner. It's one on a phone to pan room in Yang. Jimmy, you are stupid. Question number 35. During your period as president, only 4% of Ghanaian adults. Question number 36. Why was your government unable to digitalize the operations at the port to reduce corruption? Today, there's more corruption at Ghana port than any time in our history. Importers grumble to me, MPP almost Jimmy too much. Why was your government unable to solve the problem of lack of functioning Ghana-wide property address system? almost the address system about I don't know John Mahama man yebi. John Mahama put 5 questions, bro. 5 questions back up. Jimmy 450 Asia. Me say 5 questions, bro. So imagine, because here we so debate. These fools say they want to debate 5 economic questions. Mahmoud Bawumia at the 550 or the 50 questions, Saba. When to me answer 5 economic questions. Bawumia is mad. 37. 38. Why was your government not able to solve the problem of access to financial inclusion like we have? 39. What help did your government provide children suffering from cancer? You people are stupid. Why did you fulfill only 28 of your promises and you in your 2012 manifesto? We don't have to waste our time. Number 40. Why did you fulfill only 28? 41. What measure did your government implement? What measures did your government implement to address the people that people have in paying rent advance? What did you do to help people who had difficulty in enrolling or renewing their national health insurance? What did your government do specifically to promote the creative art and tourism? How did your government address the problem of getting emergency drug, blood? How did your government address the problem of tertiary students? We Jimmy. Oh, we and I'll say open debate. Oh, dying. Some question I don't want to do debate. You see, we keep telling Ghanaians. Ejumana ya no hano ena ema ne dema MPP 4. Mamenka bibi nchiro. If you think 2024 elections is about John Mahama, then you're a fool. Today I was talking to some people, and one very important personality or MPP mu anam ni reading komo. After John Mahama told Bawumia say, Obusan 5 questions, but he should answer the question. And then John Mahama quoting Democrat or Bill Clinton campaign team, their answer to some Americans who were being stupid, who were not looking at the issues and addressing the specific issues. In Tidipa we are MPP Muno. He texted me, I texted him back and I say, hey, see John Mahama, see the way the language. And I'm saying, what has John Mahama done here? John Mahama yedeng. Also, can't you see? And I'm saying, what did Mahama say that is wrong? Oh, but you know, your guy, he needs to do well. He needs to, and I'm saying, what did John Mahama do? A whole president we have in this country plagiarized speeches from presidents, which is a crime. Ekufuado. He plagiarized speeches from American presidents. A chronic Jimmy and MPP for Mumudu doing Jimmy ya and cause us now Moka say we don't want this guy as our leader. Kwasia Jimmy way plagiarize a speaker. I was say yedi to me amano on Kasamfri na kume munche no nanado dan kwekufuado plagiarize a brofu speech. Emfri na kume mo obia sama waka and no copy no beka kire, meaning that fool was not even speaking to us. He was quoting somebody. Ana yemu bini Jimmy ana. This guy, this Akufo-Addo guy, this guy, he stood before Ghanaians without respect. Plagiarize this guy.
I ask you to be citizens.
I ask you to be citizens.
Citizens, not spectators.
Citizens, not spectators.
Citizens, not subjects.
Citizens, not subjects.
Responsible citizens, building communities of service and a nation of character.
Responsible citizens, building your communities and our nation.
Though our challenges are fearsome, so are our strengths.
Though our challenges are fearsome, so are our strengths.
Americans have ever been a restless, questing, hopeful people.
Ghanaians have ever been a restless, questing, hopeful people.
And we must bring to our task today the vision and will of those who came before us.
And we must bring to our task today the vision and will of those who came before us.
You to be citizens.
I ask you to be citizens.
Citizens, not spectators.
Citizens, not spectators.
Citizens, not subjects.
Citizens, not subjects.
Responsible citizens, building communities of service and a nation of character.
Responsible citizens, building your communities and our nation.
Though our challenges are fearsome, so are our strengths.
Though our challenges are fearsome, so are our strengths.
Americans have ever been a restless, questing, hopeful people.
Ghanaians have ever been a restless, questing, hopeful people.
And we must bring to our task today the vision and will of those who came before us.
And we must bring to our task today the vision and will of those who came before us.
Where ye dito. Yatiti akwa we nwa 8 years kwa champagne we. And the wenya authority kase Mahama is a one-term president. Oh free way. Now just a broni ben the betina ni kroma kwa champagne abedi ni so akofa Obi West abeka akire no na oda hote ne ho. Jimmy when I'm Ghana na boast say no a two-time president because we couldn't pay the second term. Jimmy way. And I'm Ghana. He has disrespected the Constitution, disrespected the citizenry, disrespected our forefathers, disrespected every single thing that makes us Ghanaians. This guy is a dwarf. Now, and the John Mahama quote site or see the Bill Clinton campaign team. They were telling the people who were being stupid, say, are you being stupid? You booster Bawumia only 5 questions. Economic questions or the 50 questions in Abba. Is it not being stupid? What happened to the 5 questions that you are supposed to answer? When was the last time you heard say we use questions to answer questions? So I will show me now I say the questions and that's answers to questions that you are stupid. But I want to come to what I wanted to tell you. So now Tigana now I will say I am doing this show. Abana Okotono, Baby Agana Edruno. It's about John Mahama. You are stupid. Where we are now as a nation is not about John Mahama. It does not matter what John Mahama says today to Bawumia. Whatever we are going through today, we need to change it. Enti se, oti Ghana sa wo yon hene, oye Ghana ni, hey, John Mahama akoti, Bill Clinton campaign team. Edi aka asama chere Bawumia, enti meto ama NDC a, meto ama MPP afa kwasi akwoto ma MPP. Na efa me ho. I don't give a heck and I don't fucking care. Wo and obebre. Because all the munyansa at the end of the day, no, the question that John Mahama busa Bawumia no, anka oma answer betuma se wabrabo. But Bawumia who say we jiminti. Questions the best wabrabo. He has skipped the question and then he's fooling you. It's your pobio or stupid Bawumia. So the moment you told that line, now I will say, or he be babeka say, I Bawumia de uniatem. Me, do I care about the only atem, the odiatem? What I care about is nyanseni ne dimiso. Because with all due respect, ya wo hinia odini huni, enso sa ohine no otomona. Ya wo hinia nentuma ye fe, enso sa ohime no otomona ewo edien, behind the scenes. You was software, the cast of fe, now sorry fe, and so behind the scenes, no, or repunkwara. So it is not about the Awoya Chrenipa, it's about are you competent enough to do the job? So what's study a year MPP for any Ghana for Nibia? They want the election to be about John Mahama. The election is not about John Mahama. Ushama. Right now, what they are going to do is, hey, na John Mahama, and then John Mahama na in some case, and I'm asking you, Asama John Mahama Kayano, question John Mahama Busa, no, Anka one Busa, and I want Busa Bawumia, so I don't know to me answer. Anka one Abaso Busa. Now Kobusa will be few. Messi, Senya John Mahama Nebeka, Anka one Ombeka na. Dabena unsa on hinibi ejina Ghana hasore Busa Bawumia economic question da. Have you heard any chief in this country say was sorry ejina na himfie Busa Bawumia economic question da? On hinibe na Ghana Hawaii bi. So for ben ejina sorry them Busa Bawumia economic question da e Ghana. Me see statesman ben e Ghana was sorry apart from John Mahama we Busa Bawumia 5 economic questions. Entiba Bawama omusa. Dabio sankwasi ade ni yetwam. The elections now, it's not about John Mahama, it's about you. It's whether you want a fool or a stupid group of, or some stupid group of people to lead you. Or you want people that are willing and ready and you have tested their experience before to lead you. Because it's between dark and light. John Mahama is the light. In Kofowe, we have seen them 8 years. Yamomu infie watri aka 38 days. Kwasi Afowe didn't meet my amount. Yaman Kofowe 8 years. Omu de di ma, omu de wiamo, omu de bomu tuo, omu de asemu nyuma, omu de ashimu nkuro, omu de wia election, omu de bomu nimutia, omu de aye bibia 38 days kwasi afo we no metuma ya ma wo. O sa be hye wo na wo nya stupid a. E de na wotie Bawumia no asem. So the election is not about John Mahama. The election is about Ghana. It's about taking Ghana from the hands of stupid people. Taking Ghana from the hands of criminals, taking Ghana from the hands of people who have infiltrated every government institution that used to be a legit institution or legit institutions. This is an election that is going to take Ghana from the hands of tyrants, criminals, corrupt individuals who have gone to the Bank of Ghana to take our money. This election is about you, your democracy, being able to speak your mind, being able to be a Ghanaian who can control your own affairs, being able to get your capital back, to be called a Ghanaian again, being able to go to school freely, your kids accessing good education, being able to see a government that builds for you, being able to see a government that respects you. That is what the election is about. So until Utwana say election is about John Mahama, where Jimmy, Kwasiabe Sabe di Uso, Chema untumi abuwe be saba. Because you don't know what the election is about. Anytime me, I don't make my platform about John Mahama. I always tell you to abanema John Mahama ni NDC. Na omunyi Ghana and free baby amu because baby amu nye. It's a fact. And I have never stood on my platform to say me say to my NDC because me do NDC too much. John Mahama no fetching Bawumia, John Mahama no fetching Achichide, John Mahama ni minyansa. I tell you, say to my NDC because of the facts. The Green Book carries a lot that shows say the intent is there. Adwenepon kyerɛ sɛ woman nipa no kwan a ɔbɛyɛ de akyin sei. Inti enda seglement na yebesima awona ankende nka oba ewie immigration a kebetuma na kotim no kwasia ye de amakojo opon company. Omaton. It means that I'm encouraged say Mahama said Bawumia is not answering questions and is he stupid? Inti yanko tuntia Mahama we Jimmy Papa. Bro ni na de bro for ba no u Jimmy obeka just say you are being stupid. Actually I want to stupid as say. Debia me catch there are two things NMA MPP exist in Ghana. And one day you people remind me. Or one day, you people remind me, Kevin Taylor, you remind each other. In fact, you remember me in your prayers one day. NMA NPP, this political party exists. It is something called democracy and tribalism. So, Kenya democracy and NPP, ka majority of them I'm telling you, can to Ghana dada. Tribalism they hold the party together. Because some group of people say they are entitled to power and that Ebusia and Achichire party These are the two things holding NPP together. And the major thing that is holding the NPP together and still keeping them in government is democracy. Now, them soldiers who are willing to put a bullet in some of these people, their head, but because of democracy, the respect for democracy, the respect for the Constitution, the respect for human lives. That is why this government is still in existence. Some other countries are they are like us, but it is only democracy that is holding this country together. And the democracy, majority of the people leading you today will not survive. So sometimes, we have to protect the democracy as a people. For individuals, we are voting to protect a democracy that will give us peace. And to say, throw democracy out, there will not be any political party. NPP way, they be me say this government, a democracy, they keeping it till date. Our son comedy a year 16 days of power. I'm telling you. And yet democracy and cause NPP way with the first 3 months now cause you two about way. But because of democracy, we want to respect the Constitution. We want to protect each other. We want to make sure the country is safe for all of us and people who want to join us. That is why the NPP government is still in existence. You have killed 8 people during elections. The president has not spoken about it. The vice president has not spoken about it. Nobody cares about that. We are going into another election and you want people to come and sign a pact. Are you crazy? Who does that? The vice president who wants to be president today, under his leadership as the head of the security police council, 8 people were shot by the military and the police. He has not made a statement. Kwasi always saw in Kremoni papa ben ede mama bofom sorry 5 times a day. Ya boni nua tuo, abra ni nua ni nkuta tuo a obeka se onka ho asababra wo tumi. Are you mad? Na Bawumia na wawo mugudem na ye keji omo no. Ya boba akukura tirimu tuo a. Is he not going to speak? This is what we talk about every day. This is what you have to represent. You need to represent your nation. You need to represent the democracy you are enjoying. And that is the only way to say. The only way to say you need to protect it. How do you protect it? Take it away from people who don't respect the democracy. You vote against the NPP. That is not about individuals. It is not about John Mahama. It is about the democracy that we all have to protect. Now you get it. We should not, and what the NPP in Penny any communicators say, they want to change. You see, from 1992, 1996, from time NPP before we bedi eba politics mu, they have always made Ghana's politics about individuals. And it's what stadium strategy now. What they do, and they say every time, they make the whole issue about their opponents. And not about the issues confronting Ghana. From time Akufo Bedi president, it has always been about JJ Rawlings. Akufo Bedi president, every single target was JJ Rawlings. Every single thing was JJ Rawlings because they always make it about their opponent and they pick individuals. So you see, instead of them to address the holistic issue, our minor problems, to solve it, Nakufo ye chen to the kum. Nakufo ede or the asofo kwa kosumbo bompaye nakufo ko ede eyi Kumasi every weekend nakufo to hotels man mba nakufo ya Ghana at 50 no mu wia cast no. They were saying say JJ Rawlings, they did not confront the fundamental problems of the people. Kufo free ho Atamils baye Ekufuado's campaign was targeted at Atamils. Professor Do Little Atamils is your infantini where they want to me. So it is not about the issues. Atamils de power Emma John Mahama and making the conversation about John Mahama. So the NPP strategy, our Ghana politics, say they make the issues about individuals. It is all steady at time John Mahama, a president from 2012. The issues wasn't about what John Mahama was doing as a president, what the government was doing as a nation, as a government. All the project that John Mahama was putting together, building hospitals, building roads, building whatever. It wasn't about the president. It wasn't about the government doing things to help the people. The NPP led by Ekufuado, it was all about John Mahama Ekronfo. So it is all about victimization. It is all about tagging people. It is all about credibility. It is character assassination. That is the word I'm looking for. Character assassination. They assassinate people's good character. So the conversation we need to have, they take the people's mind from it and then they do what? They assassinate people's character. They go after people's character. They make people think say nipa bi say abro mo nyesa into study from Ekufuado Bawumia. It has always been John Mahama ye kromfo. That means say they don't have a message. Anything end there. John Dramani Mahama ebusa eyedien ebusa Mahmoud Bawumia say, tell us 5 questions were economic questions. Tell us my answers or see 50 questions. Because now Bawumia cannot make it about John Mahama. Right now, Jandam is dead. And the NPP for Jina stage, they cannot make it about John Mahama Koto Nai or Dubai. They cannot make it about John Mahama Nene Yere. They cannot make it about Ibrahim Mahama. They cannot make it about John Mahama Nene Ma. They cannot make it about John Mahama. So now what do they do? That is why they are struggling. They are struggling because the modus operandi, the strategy of the NPP today is not working because they cannot get anybody's character to assassinate. In China, people say, now the intina, as a election, NPP for your message, the NPP has always been about individuals targeting people's character. It is not about the conversation that we all want to have. That is the question. That is the issue. Intendeno on sana Poji Maika, he's talking about a Sefwi Wiawso. Now Poji Maika, I saw about them because the issue is so we John Mahama as a person out of the conversation, they cannot speak on the issues. And the Bawumia on some we John Mahama free no numuno on to me I attack John Mahama biemuno. Bawumia cannot speak into Jinawan or Danny Jimmy. Intended no sa no Pejan and I. It is because they only target characters. They don't speak on the issues. Because John Mahama wants the conversation to go on. And the 5 questions that John Mahama has said, say Ghana for Muni Abrepano, these are the 5 questions that the conversation should be around. Because Bawumia says he's an economist, heads the economic management team. He came in to change our economy. Into election 2024. No? These are very important, vital information. But the vice president says, on can want them into a crack of 50 questions about, you see, because it's not about John Mahama. On say, and the majority of you say, Muntumi NTA radio, Muntumi NTA airdian, NTA. On say, a lot of you are saying, you TA radio, and the radio crying yet there, and you win the across TV. So, no, it is because we, people like us, and the good people who are doing good job by enlightening Ghanaians, they have taken characters out of our politics. Now it is about the issues. Now, said John Mahama Dean Nima, NPP cannot speak. Now you get it. John Mahama na ye ne free muno. Ye make sure say the conversation will be about what you have done. No, and into the end, the NPP they look like said they cannot have any meaningful conversation. Because I was steady from 2012. The conversation wasn't about our economy. The conversation wasn't about what people were going through. The conversation was about John Mahama first, who we are now the economy, not so. It is a Utie Bawumia 2012, 13, 14, 15. All his lectures, he will start with John Mahama first. Owiano will chatro as an economic wastegate. All the whole thing, he's inciting the people against John Mahama as a person and ignoring the fundamental issues. And John Mahama is not a subject of the day. The subject of the day is the economy, is the GDP. The subject of the day is inflation. The subject of the day is talking about how the dollar is 17 now. That is the subject of the day. Bawumia cannot answer because he cannot go after John Mahama. That is why we are here today. The NPP are stupid. After this break, no, young brave, now, my man, shall I be quick? 6:30, 6:30, 6:30, 6:30, 6:30. All right.
My life wasn't always like this. I worked in a bank and had money in bonds to cushion me for the future. Then, with a stroke of a pen, my life was destroyed. My bank was part of the 420 financial institutions which the NPP government recklessly collapsed. What was to become the life of the workers? No one in this insensitive government cared. And suddenly, I was jobless. Their incessant borrowing also led to a debt restructuring program that affected me, and just like that, a significant portion of my lifetime investment vanished. even worse, my lifetime savings from 30 years of hard work has been rendered useless due to the continuous depreciation of the city and extremely high cost of living in the country. Now, look at me. The fruits of my toil and sweat have all gone down the drain because of bad leadership. What to eat with my children is even a struggle. God, help me and the many who share in my pain. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. Change must come.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
You are still watching with all due respect extended version. And your questions to ask. And the questions I'll be asking are a form of breaking news. And I expect Makacham said, Mr. P, I told you to give me the number of female Supreme Court justices. I want to know. Because the question is going to one female Supreme Court judge. And that female Supreme Court judge maybe send about 7 questions. May man about 72 hours to respond. So I'll respond the questions now, maximum a week. So I'll respond the question now. I'll follow it up with videos. I'll follow it up with text messages, conversations. I'll follow it up with car numbers. Sir judge, you know, dear oye. I am setting the grounds for this. Because and the yehunya maybe. Se papa anya shia, boni a friend boni anya shida. I'll bring you the questions. I'll let you know into oye female Supreme Court judge, because me sure say Ghana Supreme Court, you know, your judge form you are all supposed to pay attention to this, because mumubako and a question we ekwamano. All right. Now, you see, and they call court. So I'm for ya tin sembebre say and a ye afenyo marking MPP for court no asana kopie Supreme Court. Emma Sebio or Konya or the ex-party application because Supreme Court say a Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin why then why a debut of Parliament where ye MPP phobia almost moko independent no where you almost community NPP minority leader a year after your marking echo a year Supreme Court I will catch the Chief Justice say Chief Justice Jumadia Omudino a year Parliament no Chief Justice Entuni Nansim, if you say Chief Justice Nebetuma Abuano. After your marking court, no Chief Justice onim a year Parliament, almost Jumadia Mudia, Sebio, Omudia Mohono, or 29 and Odisim say a year decision be a year Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin Etekino, a year Supreme Court, Chief Justice Tokonu Edi Nimuno, or no with 29 sim. Judgment and our ruling or ma or Parliament to say. NDC for from time or massa judgment no my majority no or no Chief Justice Sebio judge for no omutu na esim asamono Alban Bagbin so be 2 days ago or no so ehu krata Supreme Court for the bread no kire ne say oh decision wudwumadi within the Parliament no even though no mo independent body mo aso mo hyemra make sure say Ghana na ye chichire no bibia ekoye no omo akwanya say omo betu omo na esim. Iti Alban Bagbin also received this suit from the court, the Supreme Court. And our directing the lawyers say omo ko Supreme Court ko kan kire Chief Justice say Jumadie na odi no Supreme Court no sa tumi na ekuta no ono Alban Bagbin ne Parliament so the same to me, the same as the executive. Enti ne wanwa say asema AC Parliament no asema Parliament eka omwankasa betuma tena se aka Parliament wo onwankasa ne mra obetube diso ahyehye mra no se Parliament kura asem si wo na se sebio omonti omo ho ase a omo bibia ye frɛ no rules and regulations standing orders a omo betumi de asolve asem no o say Chief Justice etume tu ne nan esi omo asem no ohun ne se Chief Justice watra nani nton sebio ni tumi no Oma ni tumi no atra na no sebio oma ni tumi no atra nechi sebio oba na tebe mu dodo. In fact emrana Chief Justice ejina so edi akase onja ni dwumadi a odi no Parliament no mra bi a etia Ghana mra kase Constitution no. This Okay. Thank you very much. I will use that. The 5 Supreme Court judges, I am ban. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. I'll mention their names now. Enti Assembly Sakopie Court, Alban Bagbin, Esman lawyers, mom responding to a Supreme Court, a court Chief Justice war. Now, and the Assembly P Court, nation with TV so. Me assure yourself from watching kono, let me land the phone be beba. I bet to brofwa kese jargons. So I'm for intina me ye win coming yet. So I'm for intina me ye win. Now, after your marking echo Supreme Court, ko can asem chire eye osono maame, eye Madam Tokonua, ujinimuma MPP eye Supreme Court no. Okono asem o de call e ho nyina ne say. Eye de let me put this picture up. Na yenko yenim. This is the Chief Justice and ono ena Ghana Supreme Court no odi enim. After your marking ede na asem echo Supreme Court no. Okoka kire Chief Justice say eye nipa miensa bia omo parliament and Alban Bagbin atwe omoto ase akonwa say omo ko independent dia eye akonwa na ewo ho no sebio omo ja akonwa na to eni say omo from say omo ye MPP MPs na emom omo ye independent. Now afenyo make koye no enkura na nka oso kobo kire Chief Justice no they see your parliament and say a nipa 9 MPP form yensa and a NDC ni baako. Then so after your marking eko eye Supreme Court no or the nipa miensa din ne call say sa nipa miensa we nkwa na eye Chief Speaker of Parliament ehwe hubua asem of Parliament. Then so uko Parliament in krata mu a Parliament in krata mu no sa da na eye Alban Babin ebu asem no na eye nipa 9 and one sem and ojina so ebua na asem. Nanso afenyo makin eko Supreme Court na okoka na asem akire eye osono maame eye the Chief Justice no. Okoka kire ne say nipa miensa. It means say in the first place eye the ex parte application na afenyo makin ediko Supreme Court no. That application no everything in it was a lie. Because don't say court oko quarter in sem na eye de ko ne nyi bi mfrim ene enfe bi nka ho. Afenyo makin eko court no o decided say inkuro ana nyoma eko so parliament ema Alban Bagbin gina so ka say 4 MPs ye yi omoto akonwa efiso omoko independent no ono free parliament ede na asem akọ court ede akọ osono maame ho no o say nipa miensa enho asem na Alban Bagbin gina so ede bu asasem no court so ana say eye imrahwe Supreme Court Madam Tokonu osono maame da ano no eye facts and ye digina so edibu asem. Now the ekosi nyina ne say asem na kopie court na ende the epie court nyina ne say Alban Bagbin show letter come Supreme Court Chief Justice say uni ho kwan, in fact muni ho kwan krampo say the ekoso parliament no mubetu munan esim enti enho ena and the Chief Justice eye osono maame Madam Tokonu ene the battalions miensa maka no etena ase say omu bebua sa asem no ansana asem ankasa afenyo ma akende baaye say Chief Speaker of Parliament say eye omu ye minority anase we yi MPs miensa to akonwa no yakoso into the end e course no nyina ne ye interlocutory eye issues eye fa asem no ho e de say we twa material enwa homa no enende eye osono maame Madam Tokonu ene the battalions no etena ase edi hu enkomo enti adekudi enti omotena ase ndan se na omopese omotie Alban Bagbin se bi oni response of the bro mo se omuni hu tumi krampo se omobetena asem no so na omotena asem no so no eye osono maame Madam Tokonu ene eye the Supreme Court judges omaka baako ye MPP foot soldier a ye friend eye gawu anase de yen a mebodi din eye Nansia Nekufuado eye the Supreme Court judge na obi anim so oye former MPP parliamentary candidate Ghana ni mako Ghana ni mako mo Supreme Court judge oye former parliamentary candidate ema political party in power e de akurofon so no now yonko enim enti eye lawyer ogina muma Speaker of Parliament Theodore sorry one eye Attorney General onu so gina mu ma Ghana and ende omo nyina ekopie eye de Supreme Court. Now yakika asɛm no nyina besie no na as a Chief Justice person kyerɛ sɛ ɔwɔ ho tumi Supreme Court no wɔ ho tumi sɛ ɔmo yɛ de ɔmo pɛ ɔmo frɛ Alban Bagbin the decision bi a o taking wɔ ɛyɛ parliament bia no ɔmo wɔ ho tumi in fact constitution ma ɔmo ho kwan sɛ ɔmo betu ɔmo ndansim na ɔmo akyerɛ de ɔsɛ parliament ɛyɛ ɛni ntina ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo kɔ so na ɔmo kɔ di asɛm na nkasa nti ɛndɛ no Jadi kudien to mutena ase ne sɛ Alban Bagbin mu ayɛ ɔde bro ɔmo sɛ ɔmo ni ho kwan sɛ ɔmo bedi asɛm no ɔmo sɛ ɔmo abo atogu ɔmo ho kwan na ensɛm no sɛ ne ɛbobɔ baayɛ no moma yɛnya abotire ne yɛntie sɛ ne ɛkɔɔ yɛ sɛ ne ɛbɛyɛ asoamefoɔ ɛnso bɛte aseɛ pefee ansana ɛyɛ please let me land. I know you are my elder brother. We all went to law school together. You have been a friend for a long time. We know your party affiliation. Ansana sankwasiafoɔ about china. Inti ya yani local ejujum basic. Ne ya mama hu de si wo Supreme Court nde. Ne ya kyerɛ mo sɛnea ɛyɛ ɔsono maame Madam Tokonu ejina pintin ka no totwom ye na adwun sɛ obɛyɛ adwuma ama Ekufuado na sebio ɛyɛ abomu ɛyɛ thank you Ekufuado ye ne Chief Justice no ɔde bɛma ne back. Now sɛ wokɔ de si wo court na time my Chief Justice Kasano. So wotie Chief Justice here. Ushe enkrata afenyoma ken ede call a yes Supreme Court and then starting free. Yeah, they young call law school, but your common sense. And then now we are Ghana ni na oshemia. You don't have to forget. Unko law school and chese nyansa unibi. And as sebio ye can't sama say a court say out of court say mrao say nyamrao. At the end of the day, everything dwells on common sense. And you don't have to be a PhD holder. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be in law school to understand fundamental or basic reasoning and logical reasoning issues. And you don't have to struggle to use your common sense. And anything I make a say, on this platform, what we try to do is say we bring everything down to the basic reasoning level. We are Ghana nina utia because asem we die emunyansa no ene dien adentina simesi we ye say anything every time we bring the conversation to your level. Inti brofo mo kekan bebrebe o court nde no me ena mabetena ha ne me team ena ye de ba fo ma wate ase because na ye Ghana ni a wokoto aba wo taxes any edi tuan conform to court ne ka inti I was said the course of court no so no at the end of the day no oya den what ase. Okay, now there's one thing you need to understand. Say I'll be in a court and I'll be in a parliament eka constitution 1992 constitution I also who bibi and there's one thing I Ghana for mure yefi Ghana constitution a mason for a hairdressers a welders, a ma omoton adwini wo dwom, omoton apofe, a tailor for, a student, a teacher for, a different kinds of artisans, a Ghana for ordinary Ghana for ne G o madwini, e de chichire, and I the constitutional. Ain't nobody in this country should see the constitution say you're too free na baye. 1992 or before 1992 no nipa bi ene to omugu Ghana impenifo mo Ghana ene omje Ghana for adwenkyere efa nyoma ana sene omo pese ye kyekere Ghana enti sa wotie the constitution ana sa wotie the constitution of Ghana enye broni bi na de baaye eye wo nana ana wo maame ana wo papa bi a ebi a wetwam ana wawu ana yempenifo bi ana mo ho ani eni ho ana mo amoda ho tie ase ya dwenkyere ya gege ya kekesi ani ne de build bi a friend constitution. It is our constitution no enye some book bi e bi nsi da eye me ne wo adwenkyere and a friend constitution. Adwenkyere a ebeboa me ne wo e de aboye ho ban abo oman ho ban and na ye nyina e de atokrata so a friend the 1992 constitution. And do not think say eye osono maame Madam Tokonu or some exceptional being bi a constitution no ono nkwa na wo ho kwan say o kyerɛkyerɛ mu. See, Mema wajiri nya will say politician bi ti radio so na TV so a ono enkwa na Nyankopon ama no ho kwan say 1992 constitution tailor for mason for hairdressers doctors teachers obi a oye Ghana di bia ede na dwenkyere ba ekekere no omo nkwa na wo ho kwan ye nyina wo ho kwan say constitution no ye be kan na ya te ase na ya mana boy nyina ho ban. So do not see yourself say constitution de asuo na nipa bi nkwa na wo entitled to break down or explain the constitution and a majority of you Ghanaians they deceive mu abedru nne. Nobody is entitled to explain or interpret the constitution than the Ghanaian. Some people have been given the mandate that officially, when there's an issue, they can sit and make it official. But we all as Ghanaians, unofficial or official, we have the right to read the constitution and interpret it. And the basic thing is that we need to be reasonable. We need to reason. Our reasoning level should be to the point where we can read the constitution and understand the constitution. So if somebody is misapplying the constitution, you and I, I will see a dabi. Constitution we nurse ni natural constitution we tailor ni hairdresser inti ya ma wo nkwa mbe wa adwene say wo na wote ase. So we should all understand this. Over a period of time nipa bi create ade bi ato Ghana say yo nipa kuo bi a omo nkwa na read the constitution. That's not how it's supposed to be. Yo nipa kuo bi a omo nkwa na entitled to speak on the constitution. That is not how it's supposed to be. The constitution should be a basic document. Every Ghanaian should be able to read and understand. The one ko school kra an kenkan on to mean kind brofo no. I will see a tumi man nipa na constitution na se. If you say a sa nipa na one ko school no na dwenkyere eka ho na meye ye den ye di constitution we by 1992. JJ Rawlings edi enim me de bae. Enti enya Rawlings nko adwene. Enye asimesi nko adwene wo eneme. Into about constitution mama ye common sense ni nye adwuma. Mama me emfa title ne nko ama judge for. Mama me emfa ma politicians. Mama me emfa ma nipa bia. Oma adwene yo mo say because they are in politics they have the right to interpret or only speak on the constitution. Na ye maame na oye hairdresser no. Ye nua na oko school no. Ye nua na oye welder no. Ye nua na oye mine ni no. And I say ye nua bi na oton nyama na otumi kan no. Only right. We all have the right to read and understand the constitution equally. What am I saying? Now, let's move forward. NOB Kano, the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana should be added to the syllables of Ghana schools. I will say I will say a part. And I remember when we were in school, social studies, we had some part of the Constitution in that book. But in Kwasiafo we started school we don't even know anything about the Constitution of the Republic. I was from class 5. You started the Constitution, you were a Constitution subject. I was saying your school you the Constitution Sibiani reading books bit say life skills book, social studies book, Arabic book I was say Constitution a topic. Enkorano ebe read the Constitution. Teacher ni baba kenkan page by page. Ondu JSS3. Now on every part of the Constitution of Ghana. It should be part of it. And I expect the incoming government to introduce this. Add the Constitution to the syllables. Enkorano from class 5. We need to infuse the Constitution in our day, in our daily life, in our education. So I expect the NDC government, when God helps them to come to power, they should infuse, Professor Nana Opoku Agyemang should insist that the Ghana Education Service add the Constitution, makes it a whole topic on its own. It should be a subject, that we have the Constitution as a subject, that every kid, by the time they get to JSS 3 or junior high school 3, that kid knows about the Constitution, every single page of the Constitution, so that we, the ordinary people, they call us, we can also defend ourselves. Because that gap, and then some judges, some lawyers, some stupid criminal individuals in Accra, sitting on TV, intimidating you, the Ghanaian, taxes, Ghana. So we need to make sure the Constitution is it becomes a subject in school. We need to be distributing Constitution book to the kids. The schools need to have it in school. I will say chema obienya 1-1. Now edu Constitution subject. You're reading the page by page. And your page 23, what does it talk about? Chieftaincy affairs. The kids need to be taught, or they need to be taught the Constitution. They need to be abreast of the Constitution. They need to know what the Constitution entails, so that as they grow, kwasiebin to me free Holland in Bambeka say, oko school Holland, obedi Ghana ni nso. We need to get these things right. And I will plead with Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman that she should add this to her conversation. She should tell the people that when the NDC government comes to power, the Constitution will be a subject in our primary schools all the way to the senior high schools. That's how it's supposed to be. We need to teach the Constitution in schools. All right. Now, team, stay with me. In the under court, they see any. Now, Yanko tie the first part of the CEO court. Now, me betrawa debi. Afenyo marking ne ex parte na or the court court no. Ex parte application na ono kwa court a one fre obi anka ho okoye no. So what kind of document ni here? Because ende no afenyo marking court no. The last time no, or catch the Supreme Court to say ministers and MPs miensa ho asem and so okọ parliament document mu a MP for a 9 ho asem and Alban Bagbin eruli make sure how inconsistent the Supreme Court is, how they don't take details seriously because of corruption. You see, when you are corrupt, what you do in say, you always try to cover up details. And what most corrupt people do in say, because details are important and details majority of the time expose corrupt-minded individuals, they try to give less attention to what we call details. Into Saosha, Afenyoma can call court, he was talking about 3 MPs. And so over parliament, Adia Alban Bagbin Jina so take a decision now. It was about 4 MPs. In the first place, Afenyoma can Adia Jina so call court, it is wrong. It is a lie, and the Supreme Court is not supposed to entertain it. Into the case Krano in the first place was not supposed to be called. The Supreme Court was not supposed to entertain Afenyomakin. Into reading Afenyomakin, what we call the ex parte application. The second point now, or say, an order restraining the Speaker of Parliament from pronouncing on any motion in Parliament directed by Right Honourable Andrew Esiama Amwako, the current Member of Parliament for Mena in the Ashanti region and second Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Honourable Cynthia Morrison, the current Member of Parliament for Aguna West in the Central region, and Honourable Kojo Asante, the current Member of Parliament for Suhum in the Eastern region in the current 8th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, from vacating their seat on grounds of leaving his political status as an independent candidate at the time of his election to Parliament to another party and leaving the party of which they were members at the time of their election to Parliament to become independent members of Parliament respectively. Inti uche Afenyomakin adia ojina so ede court no in the first place kwachire Madam Tokonu and Madam Tokonu jitu mu na Afenyomakin went with 3 MPs. I'm trying to take this off. Sorry. Afenyomakin ko no okokache Supreme Court say MPs miensa mo MP na ema Alban Bagbin Jina so ebu asem no enso ukọ parliament na MPs 9 omo ho asem enema Alban Bagbin take decision or take here no into what will make the Supreme Court take half truth and try to judge or make a ruling on half truth, because you cannot go to court with half truth. And it's not when you go to parliament, you will see this. I'm trying to get you everything. Moma yankonko tie the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court timer Speaker of Parliament the lawyer Kasai.
And so that was taken into account before the court that makes the extensive orders relating to even 4 parliamentarians. When the writ itself affected 3 parliamentarians, it didn't even include Article 97, 1 each. And so all of those orders were made based on some of those findings. And I'm saying that, and the position is that the first defendant, based on these things, expects that in order not, especially when the court reaches the conclusion that on the balance, there was no balance. There was just one side of it because it was an ex-parte application, and they were ahead. What was the balancing?
Sorry.
Yes.
I thought we were just responding to a very straightforward.
Oh yes.
But now the case that we are hearing into the substance of the motion itself, I would urge you rather to restrict yourself to the objection that and answer it, whether it is scandalous or it's not scandalous.
This is not scandalous.
My problem is if your learned friend on the other side has raised these matters and you think it's not scandalous, you don't have to, as it were now, veer into the substance of the application itself.
My Lord, I needed to demonstrate that these things were not just said
just restrict yourself.
My Lord, I thought I was doing that. And so, as far as I'm concerned, apart from the use of the word scandalous, which he just used, he doesn't demonstrate how scandalous it is based on the context of the application that I have before me.
We allege that the Chief Justice is privy breach of a constitutional provision. What are you trying to convey?
It may have been by reason of evidence. But if that's a statement of facts,
was it necessary for you to add that in your depositions? For you, what exactly were you trying to achieve? By adding the point that the Chief Justice was privy to a constitutional breach. I think that is the point it was.
Oh yes, but the point is that if she was privy to it, her ruling must reflect that. If it doesn't, it's one of the grounds upon which I'm urging the court to set it aside.
So, Speaker of Parliament lawyer, the Okache Supreme Court say, "After making Baha Abekase, MPs me and San Wasam and Alban Babin Jina so Ebua Nasam or speak Parliament. Nanso anya no kre. Nipa ye come wasam omo ye 9. Inti e den after making eba Parliament, ebedi eba Supreme Court, ebedi atrochire mo say nipa miensa en wasam and Alban Babin ejina so ebua say NDC majority. Ena judge for much say oh na asana woka no ye pese ebusa say den na woka say Chief Justice Krampo no de oye no entwa ye omo ntia say obi beka say Chief Justice take decision bia sad decision no scandalous entwa ye into omo problem no say the word scandalous omo problem no say aden na woka say Chief Justice decision bi o take ye no based on the afinyoma kende ba no entwa ye enti de enti na emane kasa. So Chief Justice Akasam ne entwa ye. And intina even Supreme Court it was something we call review. And intina your appeals court because you a court no it's not perfect. It when somebody says the Chief Justice took a decision and that decision technically it was scandalous. It was basically the ruling was not based on the facts because the facts then say when you go to Parliament 4 MPs in 170 eka. Afenyoma can the MPs 3 in 170 buy. So it means Afenyoma can brought a lie for the Chief Justice to rule on. So for the Chief Justice failing to make sure the details are right, the Chief Justice has committed a crime and it's scandalous because we expect the creme de la creme, the biggest court on the land, to do its checks, dot its I's, cross its T's before it makes a judgment. Finished. So how can we be here that we are dealing with half truth? Because after Afenyomakin in Parliament, time Alban Bagbin Eka say MPs and 9 abaku free NDC miensa free MPP we you amato akonwa no ade achi no Parliament krano they were supposed to do what? They were supposed to in fact draft into Alban Bagbin ruling no na e was a Parliament e de ko enkra time into redia so oko Parliament documentation mu a there was a memo Alban Bagbin from Parliament no release here after Afenyomakin court no 21st of October 2024 editor of database chamber reporting office of chamber reporting memo say pursuant to regulation 551C and 0 of the Parliamentary Service or Staff Regulation 2019 CI 118 explain why a disciplinary action should not be instituted against you for photocopying the drafts. Hansard of Thursday, 17th October 2024, and making same available to some other persons without authorization. Your response should be submitted to the editor of database Chamber Reporting by 4 p.m. on Wednesday, 23rd October 2024. Inti the CNSA after Alban Bagbin and making sa declaration of Parliament, what happened? And they say, sa a declaration, at the end of the day, everything that happens in Parliament, it was said, wie na yehu se mistake bi animu a na eden speaker sign and sign a official document. Now the moment ye be bibi of Parliament yen sign ya speaker engine tumu entimu so no, it is a draft enye document sebio obi abetuma gina so take a decision. Into that ruling from speaker no, that ruling was not a complete statement, and I say a confirmed ruling from speaker. If you say now the ruling now make it was supposed to be entered into the document in Parliament to make it an official ruling. Now what happened? And they say adiebechino and more Parliament won't be a printed the ruling that has not been officially endorsed to be an official ruling. And them after marking so on Franco court. Inti ema speaker ni breye ka say document now de ma afenyo marking coin a draft document. Den na wotam draft document edema obi so mfanko court. If you say ade chia every time they sit in Parliament, what they do is they go through all the things they did the previous day and see say if there was a mistake somewhere, they correct it. After they do the correction, then it is endorsed to say the previous meeting has been endorsed to be an official or valid document. Afenyomakin took a draft document that has not been endorsed by Parliament into the document Afenyomakin took to the Supreme Court. Na sad document, and yet they're in the final document of Parliament. Into na sorry, or yes, Speaker of Parliament, the lawyer ne Supreme Court to say you have judged on a half case or on a half truth. What Afenyomakin brought was not even an endorsed document from Parliament. It was a draft, and even after that, Afenyomakin men came here to say things that were not accurate because Speaker of Parliament ruled on 4 MPs. He did not rule on 3 MPs. So it is scandalous for the Supreme Court of the land to say they are ruling on a half-truth, on a draft, on a document that is not totally official or endorsed by the Speaker. So Afenyomakin is just bringing a sheet of paper to come to Supreme Court to go get a ruling. And then Speaker of Parliament, lawyer and catcher Supreme Court said, this is not right. You are not supposed to do that. It is scandalous. A whole Supreme Court cannot get its facts right. And another judge in the case, my name Kasa. Now, I didn't know also say it is scandalous, but the facts are the facts. How many MPs na can once our Parliament? 4 MPs were the MPs are. Speaker, really almost so. How did it happen? Say in Parliament, in Supreme Court, we are talking about 3 MPs. Now, let's move forward. Now, this is also another thing that happened. Speaker lawyer raised the issue be that the ruling of the court is based on parliamentary proceedings that has not been approved by the Speaker. Now, so study pa. Even the next day, na Speaker by, they still did corrections in Parliament on the previous meeting. Inti sa previous meeting na Afenyomakin ejina so called Supreme Court the next day na speak about Parliament they had to correct some things in the previous meetings. So Afenyomakin went to the Supreme Court with a document that was a draft that was not an endorsed document. And it's na ostadia omoko Parliament the next day you saw the Speaker forcing Parliament, the clerks there to make corrections to their previous meetings.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, item number 5 on page 9. Mr. Speaker, the statement made by the Honorable Minority, the Honorable Atufosin, Mr. Speaker, was in respect of the fact that 4 members of Parliament whose names have been listed have breached Article 97(1)(g) and H it was not a mere allegation, Mr. Speaker. So the appearance of who were alleged to have been in breach, I believe that it does not reflect the true statement made by the member, because it was based on the statement that the Speaker proceeded to make, to give information that you gave to the House. The Speaker further, in indicating the names of the honorable members so named, their current situations and circumstances were clearly stated in the motion paper. So that, for instance, the first name, Peter Yaokwachi Aka, the NDC member for Amenfi Central, and now an independent candidate. Mr. Speaker, so the statement contained these clear facts, and therefore it's important that they reflect in the proceedings as captured for purposes of correction. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, honorable member for Medina.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I also want to draw your attention to the same item, the paragraph 5, the ending statement, which is majority caucus in inverted commas. Mr. Speaker, I think the true intention will be reflected there when we say that the minority caucus staged a walkout instead of a majority caucus in inverted commas. So if the correction can be made to reflect what was there. Thank you.
Yes, honorable member Bolsa Saf. Is that okay? Yes, from the distance I can't see. Honorable member for, you are all right? Thank you, thank you. Table office, kindly take note of the comments made by the members. Please cross-check from the records and capture what is on the record of the House.
So you see what they were doing. This was the day after Alban Bagbin took that decision. The next day they came, they called something a year votes and proceedings. What they do is they sit, and what they do is they correct every single thing in the previous proceedings, whether there was some votes cast or whatever they decided on. They come back before Parliament's new session starts. They correct everything. The moment they are doing that, that moment, the activities that happened the day before are just a draft. It has not been adopted. So what they will do is they will adapt before. When they finish doing all these corrections, they will now adopt it and endorse it. Then it will be part of their parliamentary records. So Afenyomakin went to court with documents that had not been corrected, documents that were just drafts. And then, Ekache Supreme Court to say, the guy, you will even listen to him, ex-party application, the documents he brought are not documents that were adopted and endorsed. So in the first place, it is scandalous for the Supreme Court to be ruling on a document that has not been adopted and endorsed. That is what the lawyer was saying. Meaning, in the first place, we were not even supposed to be here. If the Supreme Court had done its job, if the Supreme Court had done its due diligence, if the Supreme Court had taken its time not to make this whole thing an ex-party process, If the Supreme Court had taken its time to allow the other part or other party to also bring their grievance, the Supreme Court would have known that Afenyomakin's documentation that he presented was a draft document and that it wasn't a document that has been adopted and endorsed. In the first place, the beginning of this whole thing was scandalous. The Supreme Court, which has the oversight responsibility to make sure, say, every document that comes before Osonmame and her battalions, those documents have gone through the litmus test. Those documents are legit and factual. The documents before them, which they ruled on, the documents were half-truths. But the court said they don't care. The Chief Justice, and in the Ghana for say, upon all the law they have learned, let us use common sense here. And common sense, obia onkanu krebiano, there are two things they don't want to apply: common sense and paying attention to details. They deliberately ignore details because the moment they try to pay attention to details, they will see say they are corrupt. And that is what is happening at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court deliberately ignore details because when they decide to take care or monitor or pay attention to details, Afenyomakin will not have a case. In Afenyomakin and the Chief Justice, and the Supreme Court itself, it is not even ready to open it as itself up to make sure detailing or making sure the facts are true. They don't care because they are in a rush to rule for a corrupt minority leader, Afenyomakin. Because so we a judge now to want to say an opposing lawyer raise the issue here. It goes against the integrity of the court. You are supposed to protect the integrity of Ghana Supreme Court. And what you do is that you call for a detailed document. I didn't know a lawyer and say, why don't you provide us with a real document from Parliament? Then sorry, we'll give you the adopted and endorsed document. Now in that document, you will see, say, Alban Bagbin ruled on what we call 4 MPs and not 3 MPs. Now, that's fine. Now, Alban Bagbin's lawyer, sorry. And so he raised another issue. He raised an issue one of the judges are not Okapano or a former NPP parliamentary candidate. Jesus Christ. Judge ana otesono ono ebebu asem or a former parliamentary candidate wejinama MPP waye serial collada waje card da ena eye Alban Bagbin lawyer na erezi issue ni say, Madam Judge, your colleague sitting there, even though he is a judge of the Supreme Court, he needs to recuse himself because Alban Bagbin application say the judge na otowono eye gawuno se de na friend sano, he is a member of the NPP. Now, may I explain it, the Chief Justice and the response. This was the response of the Chief Justice.
Rises from some
so that my lord of the Supreme Court?
Right to my lord the Chief Justice. To him being empaneled in this matter arises from the fact that at the point in time he was known to be associated with the New Patriotic Party. And in fact, he was a parliamentary candidate in one of their constituencies in the Volta region.
I think you said enough.
And
yes.
I just want to demonstrate from, especially again.
No, I think you said enough.
From the
I think you said no. I think you said enough. Kindly resume, please.
Very well, Malik. And in fact, he was a parliamentary candidate in one of their constituencies in the Volta region.
I think you said enough.
Very well. And
yes.
I just want to demonstrate from, especially again.
No, I think you said enough.
From the
I think you said no. I think you said enough. Kindly resume, please.
Very well, Malik.
So, the Speaker of Parliament's lawyer, because in the application, Speaker of Parliament, Young can say the response now, Speaker of Parliament, at the core, Supreme Court, no, or say, judge near friend NS Gauno, or MPP ni, yenina yenim. And Alban Bagbin lawyer and Chief Justice say, even though he is a judge now at the Supreme Court, Alban Bagbin and his lawyers believe, say, his earlier affiliation with the MPP, could can influence his decision on this matter. Because the matter we are treating in the Supreme Court today, it is between the NPP and the NDC. A purely political matter. Inti Speaker Alban Bagbin lawyer catch Chief Justice say, wouldn't it be right? You have so many judges, over 34 was a day in Supreme Court judges. Can't he recuse himself to protect the integrity of your court? If even he's going to be fair, to just take the doubt out of the minds of Nana Akufo-Addo's word, naysayers, or people who are still contemplating whether the court is legitimate or illegitimate, or the court is biased or not biased. Why don't you take this man, who is now a Supreme Court judge, off this matter? If it had been any matter which did not involve the NPP and the NDC, then nobody will have an issue. But wouldn't it be good, Sir Chief Justice, ubeyi man way every case so send the doubt in the minds of people? Already people are saying your court is political. Already people are saying you have politicized the court. Already people are saying, you people are working for the MPP. Wouldn't it be great for you to clear that thing from the minds of people? Chief Justice on now, you see, when you read Ernest Gawu's profile, and this man is part of the panel, Omu decide here, Omu really say the Supreme Court has jurisdiction. Omu the power to step into the rulings of a parliament. Now, when you read Justice Ernest Gawu's profile very well, this is what you see. Whilst in private practice, he was active in partisan politics from 2009 to 2016, serving as a constituency chairman and parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party in the whole West and whole Central constituencies. He resigned on 16 September 2020, which was the same day he was appointed as a High Court judge. This judge, Ernest Gawu, was the constituency chairman, a parliamentary candidate. In fact, the day he resigned that he's no more a parliamentary candidate for the MPP, that was the same day Akufo-Addo in 2020 moved him to the higher court. So, no matter how you see this judge at this point is not supposed to be part of this case, especially when you have so many judges on standby that you can place or to replace this man on this panel. The Chief Justice said no. Now, you don't know something? The precedents now Chief Justice we are setting with all the skirmishes. You see, moi Mosian law, no? Me, I've not been to law school. You see this statement when they say recusing yourself from a case when you are a judge. So, Opesa summarizing now, in short, no? In short, a judge may be recused if only he has some actual interest, personal, familial, or financial in the outcome of a case, or where he has shown himself to be so prejudiced against one of the parties or the case's subject matter that he cannot be trusted to rule fairly. Now, the Chief Justice's argument today when she was making her ruling, and say the same parliament actually vetted this man and made him what? And made him a Supreme Court judge. So, as far as Parliament vetted him and said he can go ahead and become a Supreme Court judge, nobody can tell her that she should take the man off the case. That is why, at the end of the day, the case be etimiba Supreme Court. Na se a Chief Justice mame and a case in the fan na Chief Justice ewo Supreme Court. The best thing for Chief Justice to do, and they said, to recuse herself. Not because asem no ontumi ndio. It is because she's related to ne maame. It is because no matter how, se ne maame kura anhwe ne mfiri nkwara brem ana maame ne adapte no ena maame na anhwe wo school a, the fact say oya ne maame no, it will influence her decision on the panel. It is either going to make her angrier and not to look at the issues well, or it is going to make her have sympathy for the woman for not being with her for a long time. So it is always important that when issues like this comes and you have any affiliation, because this man used to be a member of the NPP and not just a mere member, he used to be a parliamentary candidate. No matter how you see this, he has a little bit of soft spot for the NPP. And this is a very, very important case. You, the same Chief Justice, you call the case exceptional circumstances. So if the case is an exceptional circumstances, then you don't leave any room for doubt. That is why you are supposed to take the man off the case, to take out that misconception and that idea say Chief Justice is trying to rake. Because the moment you keep the man on, even though Parliament sanctioned him to come to the Supreme Court, he is not supposed to be seen as being biased. So to prevent that in the eyes of the public or the citizenry or people in court, he needs to stay away so that the court or the people in court will have a clear understanding or conscience in following the case. Because no matter what you do, say Judge Way, the chairman or whole central through Ayana during his time, Omanebeye parliamentary candidate Ebejina Nenima, not panel be or no kanwa. The law now Mosiane say he needs to recuse himself because say in the corner of no relationship, he's had relationship with that man before. That man has helped him become a parliamentary candidate before. He used to know this man. He used to work with this man. So logically, reasoning wise, it is best for this judge to step away. And it's now to court. Now you're judge. Now oba asamoba yama oba ndi asamono. Yama undi oba nasem. And it's now say bia unya ba kura kunu asamoba. Nesi ye se unya ba kunu ena na asamaba. The Chief Justice is supposed to make sure you don't sit on the case. So why would the Chief Justice say, upon all these things that is going to create some misconception in the eyes, on the heads of people, she still insists to say, this man is supposed to sit on the case. And then the chair will say, the intent has never been clear for the Chief Justice and the panel. It has always been a biased panel that is there to work for the executive. And I want you to understand the AC was Supreme Court. And when people say the Chief Justice has sold the court's soul and that the Chief Justice or Sonomame is doing the bidding of the executive, you are not supposed to compete. Forget about their jargons. We are applying common sense here. We are applying reasoning here. We are trying to let people understand and say, oh, yeah, jaja, oh, nyanyame. You need to use your conscience. Sa adwene da da utimu no a wo mpese obepa obi hu na ka so be jantre no sa adwene na wo se boawo na a guide in using the law to protect yourself and protect the people before you. That is your core mandate. Now, Mr. S, Mr. P, stay with me, guys. I still have breaking news for you. I'm not done. Now, in courts, another issue says here. Chief Justice, or you see where to be in there. The Chief Justice making a ruling, no, or in her submissions or ruling, no, or say, if Afenyomakin had gone to the High Court, the High Court would have still come to them for interpretation. Alban Bagbin lawyers raise the issue, no. Omo can be say, in fact, so we read the constitutional, now we follow constitutional, now person udi no kra. Nanka ose Afenyomakin eko edien eye High Court. But Afenyomakin ended up at the Supreme Court. And the application from the speaker, lawyers say, it is not right for Afenyomakin to even, at the end of the day, come straight to the Supreme Court. Even though the Supreme Court oversees or is powerful than the High Court, we should all follow due process. As far as the Constitution is saying, there is the room, we still have an option to use, Afenyomakin was supposed to use that option. Because in Ghana, yen say Supreme Court esoche High Court. But the Constitution so enim say Supreme Court such High Court. But the Constitution also insisted say I was say issues like this, majority of them has to come to the High Court. The Constitution recognizes the Supreme Court as being the the highest court of the land. But the Constitution also did not discredit the High Court. It gave the High Court specific role to play in issues like this, because Constitution will say due process is very important when it comes to law. In Toka say, even though the Supreme Court is there, you have to go to the High Court first. So why did Afinyomakin come to the Supreme Court? Chief Justice started using hypothetical statement in her ruling. Now, when a Chief Justice sits in the Supreme Court and start using hypotheticals, because the probability say Afinyoma can echo High Court or Beba Supreme Court, you cannot say it is definite. No. The probability say case, it could have ended up in the High Court, it is also high. So how can a Chief Justice sit in the Supreme Court and say, if even Afinyomakin had gone to the High Court, it could have still ended up on her table? It means the Chief Justice sits in the Supreme Court using hypothetical statements to judge a case that are supposed to go through due process and definite actions. Now, listen to this.
Third, it is the most basic tenet of our legal system that different courts operate in different jurisdictions, and every court is given its own jurisdiction. So the type of cases that can be settled in any court depends on the nature of the dispute. Thus, if someone is challenging that a member of parliament has not lawfully won their seat, that challenge must be done at the High Court in the region that the constituency is in. However, if any two people challenge that the process of electing the same member of parliament did not conform with the constitutional provision, that dispute over the correct interpretation or meaning of the constitutional provision must be brought to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Indeed, if the dispute over correct interpretation or meaning of the relevant provision occurs while the parties are before the High Court must, by direction of Article 132, stop hearing the case and refer the dispute over the correct interpretation of the Constitution to the Supreme Court. There are many cases on this manner of resolving disputes requiring constitutional interpretation, including ex parte Senator Rawlings, citation provided. In every given month and year, the Supreme Court regularly deals with cases seeking interpretation and enforcement of provisions of the 1992 Constitution, and every law report issued every month is filled with such cases. It is therefore misinformation and misapprehension of law for the applicant to present that the Supreme Court has no jurisdiction to provide the correct interpretation of Article 97(1)(g), because Article 99 gives jurisdiction over determination of membership of Parliament to the High Court. Article 99 reads, "The High Court shall have jurisdiction to hear and determine whether elected as a member of Parliament or the seat of a member has become vacant, or a person has been validly elected as a Speaker of Parliament, or having been so elected has vacated the office of Speaker. A person aggrieved by the determination of the High Court under this article may appeal to the Court of Appeal." From the above, it can be seen that if anyone raised the question whether a person has been validly elected as a member of Parliament or a seat of a member of Parliament has become vacant as a matter of fact, that person is required to go to the High Court for the High Court to resolve any issues around that question. In the instant case, the records brought to the Supreme Court submitted that the question was raised on the floor of Parliament that by filing nominations to contest as independent members of the 9th Parliament, members of the 8th Parliament, should be deemed by reason of the meaning of Article 97(1)(g) to have vacated their seats in the 8th Parliament. Thus, the vacation of seats is not a matter of fact from death or resignation or notice by the parties themselves to Parliament. It is to be taken from an interpretation and enforcement of Article 97(1)(g).
So you see what she tried doing here? She tried to override the power of the High Court because she wanted to take over the case. She knows that if Afenyomakin had entered the High Court, the outcome that Afenyomakin is getting at the Supreme Court, he wasn't going to get. Because when you look at the jurisdictions of these courts, the High Court has original jurisdiction and the Supreme Court has referral jurisdiction. Meaning, there's a reason why the High Court has original jurisdiction and the Supreme Court has a referral. That is why it was very imperative for the Supreme Court to send Afenyomakin back to the High Court for him to exhaust the process there, and that when the process is being exhausted, it can come to the referral, which is the Supreme Court. But in this case, the Chief Justice sits in her chair and tells Ghanaians that forget the High Court. There is no importance to the High Court. It does not have any role. In fact, we as the Supreme Court, we can override whatever the High Court does. Then from the Chief Justice hypothetical statement, whatever goes to the High Court, the Chief Justice from the Supreme Court can just enter the High Court and say, bring it to the Supreme Court. Then it means the Constitution that created the High Court, at the end of the day, the same Chief Justice is undermining the powers of the High Court. So if you're a High Court judge today, your Chief Justice sits in the Supreme Court and says that no matter what, a case can come there, and if she wants that case to come to the Supreme Court, she can quash the powers of the High Court and bring it to the Supreme Court. But there's a reason why the Constitution actually decided to bring a High Court, brings an appeal court before a Supreme Court. Because when due process is followed, then you get to know the real facts of a case. There's a reason why when the issue of parliamentarians and all that came up, it did not directly, or the Constitution did not directly say go to the Supreme Court. It said go to the High Court, because the case needs to be started originally so that we will know. Because you see, the draft that Afenyomakin took to the Supreme Court, if Afenyomakin had sent the draft to the High Court would have referred Afenyomakin, or would have sent Afenyomakin back to Parliament to present the endorsed proceedings. But because the Chief Justice was in a rush, the Chief Justice wanted to go against the process. The Chief Justice does not respect due process. She basically wrote Afenyomakin's application for him, gave it to him and said, bring it to me, and that I will make sure you get a ruling. That is why we are here today. So the Chief Justice is writing his own application and answering his own application and giving ruling on his own application. As we sit here, the Chief Justice of Ghana today is undermining courts in Ghana from her own hypothetical statement. How can you sit in the Supreme Court and make hypothetical statement that if the case had gone to the High Court, it would have come to you? You don't know. You never know. Because maybe if the case had gone to the High Court, it wouldn't have been an ex parte case. So how do you know that when the case goes to the High Court, it has to come to you? The Chief Justice of Ghana, Madam Tokonu Osnomame, today sits in Supreme Court and undermine the High Court and tells us that even though the Constitution gives the High Court the mandate to oversee these issues, she does not respect the High Court, all because she's there to work for Afenyomakin and Akufo-Addo. That is the problem of the day. That is our problem as a nation. And you see, this is what they are doing, and this is part of the reason why today, that is why today in Ghana, we are all saying our democracy has been hijacked. Now listen to this part.
To the Speaker, or G, if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party, or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member. Or H, if he was elected a member of Parliament as an independent candidate and joins a political party. 2, Notwithstanding paragraph G of clause 1 of this article, a merger of parties at the national level sanctioned by the party's constitution or membership of a coalition government of which his original or political party forms part shall not affect the status of any member of parliament. Now, clearly, with the disputed interpretations alleged in the plaintiff's statement of case, even if the parties had gone to the High Court under Article 99, the High Court would have been compelled by Article 132, as happened in the case of ex parte Zaneto Rawlings, to refer these contested meanings to the Supreme Court to determine the correct interpretation. The plaintiff's statement of case, even if the parties had gone to the High Court under Article 99, the High Court would have been compelled by Article 132, as happened in the case of ex parte Zaneto Rawlings, to refer these contested meanings to the Supreme Court to determine the correct interpretation. Even if the parties had gone to the High Court under Article 99, the High Court would have been compelled by Article 132, as happened in the case of ex parte Zaneto Rawlings, to refer these contested meanings to the Supreme Court to determine the correct interpretation. It is therefore disingenuous and wrong, including being an act of disinformation, for the argument to be presented that the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court could never be invoked to determine a constitutional interpretation because of the High Court's jurisdiction to hear and determine disputes on elections and vacation of seats of members of Parliament under Article 99. Our clear view is that Article 99 gives the jurisdiction to hear cases involving questions on validity of election or vacation of seats of a member of Parliament and the Speaker. It does not in any way take away the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to interpret and enforce any provision of the Constitution, including Article 99 itself. Correct interpretation. It is therefore disingenuous and wrong, including being an act of disinformation, for the argument to be presented that the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court could never be invoked to determine a constitutional interpretation because of the High Court's jurisdiction to hear and determine disputes on elections and vacation of seats of members of Parliament under Article 99. Our clear view is that Article 99 gives the jurisdiction to hear cases involving questions on validity of election or vacation of seats of a member of Parliament and the Speaker. It does not in any way take away the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to interpret and enforce any provision of the Constitution, including Article 99 itself.
So when you listen to the Chief Justice, right? And then Uncle Fobi, because the Chief Justice, the ruling was already prepared. Yes, it was already prepared. It was a ruling that she had already written. This was not a ruling where Omoko shared them 30 minutes or no. You know why? So a person who's a ruling was already prepared. It was when the lawyer for Speaker raised the issue of the drafts. Because if the Supreme Court or the Chief Justice had not already prepared her speech, she should have known that the issue that happened in Parliament for Afenyo Markin to run to Supreme Court and the draft document he brought, she should have known that it involved 4 MPs. But because the day now Afenyo Markin ever court now on one case application man be presented to him, no, the Chief Justice had already written down her ruling. It is a the ruling now, which my team they are trying to get you. Her ruling was only based on the draft document. But you see, when Alban Bagbin was replying to the Supreme Court, Alban Bagbin made the Chief Justice understand, say, it is scandalous because Afenyo can cry document it's a draft document that does not cover the original or endorsed the parliamentary documents. Enti who's a Chief Justice ne read is no reading in from the Okaninya. When you take your time, you see say it has been predetermined. It was already written. Her judgment was already written. She already had a judgment before coming to court today. Nothing could have changed the mind of the Chief Justice because on no natural application ma afinyomakin court the first time no Chief Justice and a trauma and say onko na onya den onfa sade we mre no na on grant expert in mano. Into Chief Justice or not the case or not the case so no judging the case. Now here there you remember the case of Sal, right? 30,000 Ghanaians were denied or they were disenfranchised. They were not allowed to vote in election 2020. Now the Chief Justice today, there was one thing that she was doing that majority of Ghanaians did not pay attention to. She hid behind the word called exceptional circumstances. Exceptional circumstances. Or say, case because of exceptional case had an exceptional circumstance. A case be na exceptional. All because one, some of the people are the respective MPs constituencies say Alban Bagbin ruling it take effect. All those people will not have an MP. Won't any reasons. Original so can say or granted Alban afenyo marking the expert in the man or say exceptional circumstances. You see, this is a dissension into politics. The Chief Justice was doing pure politics. Whether the constituents will get a chance to vote or not, it is not up to the Chief Justice to determine. It is up to a parliament. Nobody forced the respective MPs to go independent. So disenfranchising or not allowing their constituents to basically enjoy their service for the rest of the parliamentary sitting, it is not up to Speaker to decide, the Chief Justice to decide. Now the Chief Justice was veering into a very tricky arena because one, say obi ankasa sorry no kasa me MPP ni me pese me koye independent. It is not up to you, the Chief Justice, to say nipa na oye penyina willingly we decide say obeko independent ne constituents na omo at the end of the day will lose that seat and I say omo nya MP enya wo na obe decide parliament they decide. Chief Justice raising issue be say san konfo no moko independent what is going to happen is say what if omo da the committee bia no, it is up to parliament to make that decision. Somebody the committee and I say first deputy speaker of parliament. It is the parliamentary and I say a parliament to at the end of the day find solutions to that. It is not your job. As the Chief Justice, it is not your job to tell Parliament how an MP's constituents will vote or not to vote. It is up to Parliament to make that decision. As a Chief Justice, say Obika say our position or the committee so no so obeko parliamentary or obeko independent. Now say at the end of the day or independent. It is not up to you, the Chief Justice, to sit in the Supreme Court and determine say adena mu yini panel because of the committee. So at the end of the day, Parliament knows how its own laws work and they know how they can fix their problem. So you could see say the Chief Justice she was descending into politics. She was doing pure politics and not trying to look for the facts. Now listen to the Chief Justice here.
The Constitution enjoins the Supreme Court to make orders that are appropriate for giving effect or enabling effect to be given to its final declarations on the correct meaning of a constitutional provision. And the Constitution is so serious about ensuring the obedience of such orders that it creates the offense of high crime for failure to obey such orders in Article 2(4). Not even the President and Vice President are exempt from obeying the orders of the Supreme Court when they are made to give effect to its duty to prevent a violation of the Constitution. Because of the irreparable harm to the constituencies made up of hundreds of thousands of Ghanaians who would have lost their MPs without the option of a by-election, and the irreparable harm to the MPs who would have lost their seats in Parliament in these last few weeks to the 7th December elections, if the meaning put on Article 97(1)(g) by the Speaker was enforced without a clear determination of the disputes around it. This court found it expedient to compel the parties to allow an early hearing rather than make an order that would last only 10 days. This is the reason for the Supreme Court's orders abridging the 14 days allowed for defending a constitutional action through a statement of case and directing the parties to file their respective statements of cases within 7 days and present the issues for resolution immediately thereafter. If the parties had complied with the court orders, this would have taken all of the 10 days the applicant urges an ex parte order ought to last. Compliance would also have enabled this court to dispose of this case by this week, including the question of whether the suit is competent in form or the jurisdiction of this court has been properly invoked. It is important, and the question of whether the jurisdiction has been properly invoked is different from whether the jurisdiction exists. It's a different legal question. It is important to place on record that both the plaintiff and the Attorney General have complied with these orders, and this court is able to complete hearing of this suit if the Speaker chooses to file no processes. For the above reasons, the application is refused.
So you see, what she was doing was pure politics. As we speak today, so I would say the decision you are taking is based on, say, some of the MPs now become independent and they say at this point Alban Bag bin Jina Imbrabiso no you omoto akonya say omoko independent their seats are vacant. Send the MPB wu and that. Chief Justice, are you going to decide for Supreme Court what to do, Parliament what to do? When Parliament take a decision in Parliament, they know how to correct their own decisions. Send the MPB wu. Is the Supreme Court going to tell Parliament to immediately replace that MP who died? No. You are just delving into tricky politics. This is basic, and this is clear that you are being biased. You are doing pure politics. In 2021, Madam Tokonu was on the Supreme Court panel that threw away the SAL. Was the SAL issue not also an exceptional circumstance? SAL, over 30,000 people were disenfranchised. The Electoral Commission deliberately decided to take them out of the elections. Madam Tokonu, you were on that panel. You did what? At the end of the day, what you did was that you did not, at the end of the day, that panel that threw away the case, were you not part of the panel? So you want to tell us that today, the MPP MPs who are voluntarily, they have decided to go independent and forfeiting their own seat in Parliament and also forfeiting their membership in their own respective parties, in their party, Today you are telling us, because they are MPP and they are forfeiting their seats, the Speaker of Parliament does not have the right to declare their seat vacant, but you have the right to tell us, the people of SAL, under special circumstances, they don't deserve to be heard and to vote. Because you were sitting on the panel in 2021. And what did you say? You said the people of SAL, and your special circumstance, it was thrown out of the window. But today, you are so angry, you are sweating, and you are trying to make it look like these 3 MPs or 4 MPs who voluntarily decided to go independent, knowing the rules on the ground, knowing their own respective parties. Omankasa political party, the rules on the ground that when the moment you declare that you are not going to go on their ticket, you forfeit your membership. You today, you are defending those people. What about the people of SAL? The people of SAL, you sat on that committee, that panel, and threw the case out. Wasn't it a special circumstances? Wasn't it Ghanaians who have been disenfranchised? Wasn't it the same Ghanaians who pay taxes for you to be able to feed your family every month? You see, the biasness in this Chief Justice, right? The deliberate biasness and the corruption that has engulfed this our courts at time. And I say this because you see, we have a Supreme Court made up of party foot soldiers who are selective about in seminal which one they want to pick and which one they don't want to pick. Now, look at this. Let me read this to you. So, you see, in her ruling, she hid behind the word special circumstances. This particular word, exceptional circumstances. She hid behind exceptional circumstances. The question is, SAL, 30,000 people, wasn't it an exceptional circumstance? They were being denied. So, if today, some people you are saying are being denied, were SAL people not being denied? but you sat on the panel and threw away because they were NDC supporters. Now, let me read this to you. And this has got to do with a Sal case, Madam Tokonu was sitting on that panel. This woman, a double-faced woman. You can't trust her. This is it. Supreme Court dismisses Sal case. 2021, 30th March. Madam Tokonu was sitting on that panel. Now, Sal Fono, wasn't it an exceptional circumstance? Anna Emrano, we choose which part to use and which way to use it and which people to please with the law. That in 2021, you sat on the Supreme Court, a panel, and threw away Sal's application. Was it not an exceptional circumstance? 30,000 people, you denied them from voting. You did not let them choose who to lead them. They don't have an MP. Today, you sit in the Supreme Court, and you're making it to look like, say, when you read the story, this is what the story says. The 7-member panel that reviewed the decision of the original 5-member panel stated that no error of law were committed by the judges to merit setting aside the decision. The original 5-member panel was presided over by Justice Yao Apeu, with Justice Samuel K. Mafo, Sao, Gertrude Tokonu, Clemens Hunyuga, and Isifu Umoru Tanko. Justice Hunyuga was later replaced by Justice Lovelace Averill Johnson, with Justice Yoni Kulendi and Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu added to constitute the 7-member panel. You were part of the panel that threw out the Sal case. Today you are here sweating under your breast, making it look like you love every Ghanaian and that you are the mother for all. The same woman who, in quotes, murdered 30 people from not choosing their own leader. Today you are here screaming and getting every part of your body wet because your darling boy Afinyomakin and your president that you are licking his butt, their party members have been touched in parliament. God in his own wisdom will judge every one of us. Let me give you the breaking news after this short break. Breaking news. I have 7 questions to ask. And let me put this on record. In fact, my man call me breaking in the breaking news, I'll ask 7 questions. Remember, Sir Judge, 5 days. In fact, I'll give that judge till the 11th of November. The same 11th of November, Alban Bagbin, Speaker of Parliament, that is the same day I'm also going to come out with my answers from this question. Mema Judge Krona or Supreme Court or your ban, we will boost 7 questions. Now these 7 questions, so Judge Namba Bontine Ambe answer questions we are on the 11th of November. Now you say Mobile Betina Alban Bagbin, Speaker of Parliament issue no so ama afenyo marking ama MPP we know. The same day is the day that I will also be answering the questions. So, wo sa Obana wo Supreme Court no. So I answer questions where the only person who can stop this is my mother or my father. Mr. Papa Anyashia, Bonia your friend Boni Anyashia. After this short break, I will ask the breaking news questions. Tim.
My life wasn't always like this. I worked in a bank and had money in bonds to cushion me for the future. Then, with a stroke of a pen, my life was destroyed. My bank was part of the 420 financial institutions which the MPP government recklessly collapsed. What was to become the life of the workers? No one in this insensitive government cared. And suddenly, I was jobless. Their incessant borrowing also led to a debt restructuring program that affected me, and just like that, a significant portion of my lifetime investment vanished. Even worse, my lifetime savings from 30 years of hard work has been rendered useless due to the continuous depreciation of the cedi, and extremely high cost of living in the country. Now, look at me. The fruits of my toil and sweat have all gone down the drain because of bad leadership. What to eat with my children is even a struggle. God, help me and the many who share in my pain. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. Change must come.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
You are still listening, or you are still live on Loud Silence TV. My name is Kevin Akobedu Taylor. This is the last segment of today's show. Papa Anyashia, Bonnie Anyashi. This segment, Sa Ena Yefreno. Your first segment, we Papa Anyashia, Bonnie Yefreno Bonnie, and also Anyashi. So I have 8 questions. In fact, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 questions for a year. One of the women judges at the Supreme Court. Now, let me put this on the screen first. These are all the women are almost Supreme Court, so I'm going to keep this on the screen. Senebeya, when I put the questions out, all the women at the Supreme Court, obia dinwum into obia NTA. Why are they we concerned? Be honest with yourself. Come out and let the people know. Resign before it gets murkier. I'm not threatening anybody. I am just saying, it will be better for all of us to protect our integrity. Okay. Emma Omo Ghana Supreme Court now. Omo 5. Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Saki Tokonu. She is the Chief Justice. Justice Mariama Owusu. She's a judge. Senior judge at the Supreme Court. Justice Avril Lovelace Johnson. She's also a judge at the Supreme Court. Justice Professor Henrietta Joy Abenanyakum Mensa Bonsu. She's also at the Supreme Court. And Justice Barbara F. Aka Yensu. She is also at the Supreme Court. Team, stay with me. Now, Mr. P, stay with me. Mr. S, stay with me. My first question to these judges, there's one judge I'm sending these questions to, and we are going to cut this piece. The judge now, Owosa Emma Wimuno, also Obabon Tibe answer. There are videos, there are car numbers, there are pictures, there are text messages. Nobody is God in Ghana. Say Papa a friend Papa Anyashia, Bonnie a friend Bonnie Anyashi. Now, which Supreme Court judge or your bar, which one of you goes to sleep at McCarthy Hill? Which one of you Supreme Court judges you say you are married goes to sleep at McCarthy Hill? Second question. Which of you Supreme Court judges or your bar, the place you go to sleep, the gentleman now Okodanifino, that gentleman was going through a divorce, and you, the judge, are one of the female Supreme Court judges. You actually got that gentleman a lawyer. Question number 3. You, this Supreme Court judge, your bar, Sir Nipa 5, you are about 15 years older than this gentleman. You are about 15 years old. You are older. You are 15 years older than this gentleman. That's question number 3. Question 4, and this is a specific question. There is a place near the Swiss school, near Ekufuadu's place. You, this woman, have you been sharing bed in that neighborhood with a member of parliament? Listen, there is a specific place near the Swiss school. It's very near to Ekufuado's place. You, the Supreme Court judge, you are a woman, you say you are married. You have been sharing bed with another politician. I'm giving you specifics so that you know that I know what I'm talking about. Who is this gentleman? Question number 5. Now, let me go more deeper. The gentleman person you are seeing, the person this judge, you are seeing in Ghana is a businessman. He's rich. He's less educated. This woman judge, you go to this man's house. And the funny thing is you leave the house 5 a.m. every morning. 5 a.m. The gentleman's name is Emmanuel. For some reason, I'm not going to add the second one. He is linked to some kind of milk in Ghana. The gentleman is called Emmanuel. He is linked to some kind of product in Ghana, milk product in Ghana. His name is Emmanuel. His date of birth is the 31st of March. I'm being specific so that you know what I'm talking about. There are pictures, there are videos, there are chats. Because most of you are saying you are Christians. You are married, you stay with your husband, there's no problem. The gentleman is called Emmanuel. He's linked with a product called milk. This gentleman was born on the 31st of March. He was born on the 31st of March. Okay. You always leave this place at 5 a.m. You change cars. So we have about 3 car numbers and the 3 cars that you use in going and coming every time. Now this is specific. What was Afenyomakin doing at the judge's place near Wireless around Cantonment? What was Afenyomakin doing at your place? What was Afenyomakin doing at Wireless around Cantonment? What was Afenyomakin doing at your place? On the 11th of November, Papa Anyashia, Bonnie Anyashi. I will meet you tomorrow. We will discuss Ghana. We will defend this country. We will protect our democracy, and we will make sure this country is taken away from criminals. My name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor. My producers are called the Ghost Team. We will be back tomorrow. Cheers.
Number 8, what the number 8, number 8, number 8, number 8, what the number 8, number 8.
Mufesiano Emami.
She, Neko Tuyegu.
Naminchikano.
Kojo B. Kawachi 2024 Mahameba. Edem clear Nisiafa. Abupa ban omo bese shebo. ATS omo transfer number ye yo. 1 district 1 factory. Scanner ban omo chama mo family. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia near people ni me say abane de Mahamafa. Mahamafa. Eti Bawumia Tranchan. Abane de Mahamafa. Mahamafa. 2024 ni obi ampere cause Mahamafa. Mahamafa. Still abay Mr. Tranchan. Abane de Mahamafa. Mahamafa. 7 December number 8. 24 hours economy. Mahama ba youth be adwuma ye. Mahama teso no we be ma Ghana fo na moma yenya ye. Upe wumpo wo ba. Bawumia de se woda. 7 December ni do ayen to abane Mahama no abane de Mahama fa. Mahama fa. Eti Bawumia Tranchan. Abane de Mahama fa. Mahama fa. 2024 ni obi ampere cause Mahama fa. Mahama fa. Still abay Mr. Tranchan. Abane de Mahama fa. Mahama fa. 2024 ni obi ampere. So many manfo no oba besia jisika gogu ne mpaase cathedral yesi emanyame $58 million adane swimming pool wo se mo break 80 rada tenate o Mahama wada number 8 to Ghana for abotu abana monto Mahama that this year Mahama 24 hours economy 7 December abano Mahama 2024 ni obi ampere cause Mahama fa still abay Mr. Tranchan abane de Mahama fa 2024 and it will be on pre. Mumbai must say dollar Johnny. Was a Samoba, Mobatanase, mobile dollar, Nayan Tabine. What two now on an Amuriase? Sanamo super incompetent. They make kind of full evidence. The bank way, go for no way. Setting Koma, abandoned the Mahama, it's Bawumia Tanchain. Abandoned the Mahama, 2024 and it will be on pre because Mahama, still bay, Mr. Tanchain. Abandoned the Mahama, 7 December, number 8, what a crab market, yeah. Circle overhead, yeah. Kumasi Kadetian, yeah. Mahama E-Blocks, Nama, free SHS Abasu, abandoned the Mahama, it's Bawumia Tanchain. Abandoned the Mahama, 2024, and it will be on because Mahama, still bay, Mr. Tanchain. Abandoned the Mahama, 2024, and it will be abandoned the Jemafa, Jembra, abandoned the Jemafa, and this Yafa, Jembra, Mama Fa, Jembra, abandoned the Mahama, it's Bawumia Tanchain. Abandoned the Mahama, 2024, and it will be on because Mahama, still bay, Mr. Tanchain. Abandoned the Mahama, 2024, and it will be on pre. What a number 8, what a number 8, tax and all better so. You to Nubaya, you may Bawumia message Tanchain, 24 hours economy. Abandoned the Mahama, it's Bawumia Tanchain. Abandoned the Mahama, 2024, and it will be on pre because Mahama, still bay, Mr. Tanchain. Abandoned the Mahama, 7 December, number 8. What a number 8.